Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teague. With me, like always, is Noah Bailey. Today we are back again, killing things. so
We do that a lot.
today we will be essentially determining what the best MCU slash other Marvel property movie is. We have all
2000
23
Marvel movie.
Marvel movie, the Spider-Man movies, all like the first three X-Men movies, plus Logan, and then Deadpool 1 and 2. So, should be interesting. I have a feeling this list is gonna be unlike the other ones where like they were very hard at first, and once we got in the groove, they got easier, and then like top eight were very hard.
Mm.
I have a feeling this one's gonna be very easy, and then like very hard.
Yes.
No in between.
Yeah. Right. Because I'm like looking at, I'm like doing it by like columns right now, and I'm really like, okay, out of these four, definitely that one, definitely that one, definitely that one, that. Yeah. So it's like I'm already like halfway done in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of just getting to that point.
Yeah. So I'll just get the ball rolling by killing your least favorite Marvel movie, The Incredible Hulk.
If you didn't, I would have.
Now, I haven't seen this movie in a while, but from what I remember of it, it was just bland, to say the best about it, I guess.
Yeah.
If I had to say anything
Like,
even half good,
which
bland.
yeah, like they make a giant Hulk monster kind of boring. And like for me, which I've never been a huge Hulk fan, I will say, but like
Yeah.
it's just like I've always been a believer Hulk can't be his own movie. Hulk has to be like a very good second fiddle in someone else's movie or something
Mm.
like that. But like when it's just Hulk's movie, I'm like, I can't do it. It's not enough. Especially and it's like, it's pre Mark Ruffalo too, and it's like,
Like,
dude,
Edward
I
Norton
can't.
is a fantastic actor,
This is
but
true.
you just never really
But
believed him in the role of Bruce Banner. It just didn't feel right.
right. And then
Yeah.
like and it feels like they're like and it's like when they're like when like the army or police or whatever those guys are, agents, I don't really remember,
Mm.
but like right, it's like they're kind of doing it, but it's like every single time it's like we can take him. I'm like, no, you
No, you
can't. He's like,
can't.
where have you been? Like, but don't worry, we brought tanks this time.
Like,
And like so
there's like maybe two good sequences in that entire movie. There's the scene when he first turns into Hulk in that factory, which made it more like a horror movie type thing, which
mhm.
I kind of liked. And then there's the climax, which was fine. It wasn't like it was. It's like if you just looking for like solid action, it's there, but there's nothing more to it. They just fight for 20 minutes. It's whatever.
Right?
um,
Kind of just like
Also, the design for Hulk, I get it. Like he's very like veiny and like looks
mm,
extremely angry all the time and like very like roided. Like it almost looks like he hurts just to be Hulk, and I get it. It's just a little uncomfortable to watch, and again, that might be the point. But it's for a movie. The the later MCU movies Hulk, I think, makes more sense on screen.
yeah. And again, it is live action. They're trying to get more, I guess, realistic, if you
Yeah,
will. But at the same time, it's like I don't want the main person I will be looking at make my eyes hurt, you know?
yeah. And maybe it's the thing where like the right director hasn't. You just need the right director to touch this franchise. Like I'm sure if
Mm,
Taika Waititi wanted to make his own Hulk movie, it would be at least fine. Where someone who is like who knows better how to balance uh CG and live action stuff, but like clearly whoever they got, I don't remember who it was not the right choice for this movie. Yeah. Bye bye. Where's the there we go. Hang on.
mm.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I lost place where the highlighter was. Okay,
There it
your
is.
turn.
Okay. Okay. So one we were just talking about, I gotta go Dark World because again, boring is not good. Even it like
No. No.
you can't do boring because it's like it's one thing if a lot of things are happening and I
Mm-hmm.
don't care. It's another if nothing is happening
Yes.
and like I
Nothing is
can't have an
happening and you
opinion
can't
on
care.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sitting and waiting and waiting
Mm-hmm.
and nothing ever happens and I don't really care and
You can't even call it like a fun action flick because there's literally 3 action scenes in the entire movie and they last like 20. They last like. The first one is when he, ports down and kills that one rock creature. That's like 30 seconds. The next one is the chase through Asgard, which is just a kind of generic space chase. It's fine. Which every single Marvel movie after that point seemed to have one of those. And then the climax, which it would have been that idea, the idea of you fighting someone. Was it the Space Stone, or was no? That's not a Space Stone. The Reality Stone. Was that the one
I
that the Aether
believe
Red one?
yes, I think
Yes.
so.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's when they get to the collector, and that's when Thanos. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
being using that stone and like teleporting through all these different dimensions and different realms, and like that is such a cool idea. But they just didn't do anything with it. They just teleported to worlds they've already been to. Like that would have been such a good idea, like to teleport to the world of the Eternals to at least like give you a hint of that for future. Like teleport to the Kree planet just for a little bit. Just like there was so much potential with that idea, and like they just teleport between like 3 or 4 different places, and they don't even really stay there very long. They most of the fight happens on Earth, and even on top of that, half the time you're focusing on Natalie Portman and the other just super duper annoying sidekick girl, the weird professor guy.
I forgot
Like
her name.
I don't care. She was so
It's so
bad.
weird because like and it's so weird because like after that movie, you they spent so much of this movie on them, and then after that, you never hear from them again.
Mhm.
And I know part of that's like, oh, contracts or different direction and all that stuff, but it's just like we put so much of this movie into these characters,
Yeah.
and then it's just like, yeah, none of that actually
Yeah.
matters anymore.
And again, the only good thing about the movie was Loki, but you knew that going in, so that wasn't a surprise. And like Hulk was
Yeah.
Thor was like kind of interesting, but like not
Not
he-
really.
at that point in the MCU, just like Hulk, he really couldn't carry his own movie on his own. Like that's especially apparent in the first Thor, but this one it like is even more so. Like he just kind of, I don't know. There's just not really anything about him at that point that you could really relate to in any kind of way. And then it, yeah, I don't know. It just, it wasn't. It's not. I hate the fact that like. Actually, no. You don't even need to watch it if you're doing an Avengers marathon in order to watch Endgame because he just summarizes it in 2 minutes during Endgame. So like, you're good. Just know that his mom dies, and that's pretty much all you need to know. Also, Malekith.
Again, doesn't
Malekith
really-
is the worst MCU villain. Period.
Forgot about that. Yeah, I kind of forgot that movie had a villain.
Malekith is so cool in the comics. Like he is so hammy. He like has. He's like the leader of the Dark Elves, and he has like these cool like magic. He has like some kind of weird like magic projectile attack he can do. Like he's actually a really cool character with cool powers and like a cool like literally has like a cool character to him. But here he's just like another super generic MCU like monologuing just gray villain. There are so many monologuing gray villains in the MCU. He's just another one of those.
Like generic villain number 4.
Mm-hmm. And like when he got the Aether, it didn't even really seem to be that much more powerful aside of being able to teleport. Like it didn't work. It just didn't work. But yeah, bye. There was actually a debate recently on Twitter between which is the worst MCU movie between Iron Man 3, and Thor: The Dark World. I over here thinking Iron Man 2, it's so much worse.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute probably. But like Thor: The Dark World is objectively one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So like, Iron Man 3 is fine. It's fine.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's not great, but I don't think it's like the worst by any
It's
means.
fine.
No.
Like if you didn't like it or
Yeah.
you think it's a bad movie, I like respect that opinion. It's like it's at least kind of enjoyable. Like Robert Downey Jr. is at least a charismatic character. Like you like seeing Iron Man do things.
Right.
Whereas for
And he actually
Thor,
does stuff.
yeah, Thor or any other character in this movie, I hate when all of you are on screen. All of you.
Yes. Everything. Like no one in this movie made me enjoy watching. And like my biggest thing with Iron, which we'll get to this when we talk about, but like my biggest thing with Iron Man 3, like yeah, the whole ending Nick is pointless because it doesn't change anything and stuff like that. But like it's not, it's interesting to see like Tony Stark, like it's like he is like the suit, but he does like other things, like part of the suit and stuff like that. Which I mean that's fine, and I guess it's less Iron Man stuff, but like it's still kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's a little interesting when like stuff just flies to him or like flies on people. Like that's kind of cool.
Sometimes. And like actually seeing him being personally affected by the previous movie, which is
yes.
Stakes have never really been a thing up to this point in the MCU. Like
right.
Having him actually have PTSD from being in space, like I get it. Yeah. Like he died. Actually, he died for like a good minute. Avengers, but
yeah. And Hulk somehow woke him up, but like yeah, he was done. Like that, and just like I was like, I am Iron Man, and it's like, oh great, let me nuke your house, like,
that wasn't
that's
the
the
smartest,
logical bad guy.
Yeah, like that just kind of like a logical chain of events for this character to go on. Like he's been invincible up to this point. Like I said, he's been to space. He's already died. Like he made a physical connection with the most powerful being in the galaxy up at that point. Like just some terrorist. Like what are you gonna do? I'm Iron Man. Like yeah. It's a much better movie than Thor: The Dark World. Just from a thematic sense, from a character sense, from a story, everything. Literally every single aspect is better than Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah. And I'll admit, I know like official theme music is something we've talked hasn't been established, but I think I like the score for Iron Man 3 the most out of the 30 movies.
Yeah. Did it have any of his kind of the standard like AC/DC soundtrack that he usually has? I don't remember.
Not as much. It was more kind of Avengers-y, uppity, heroic, but it had a little bit of like rock kind of his kind of a little sprinkled in, but it was mostly just like cool. But I like it. I remember I was humming that for a while after seeing that one in theaters. I was like, I hear it.
You're not humming any of the music from Thor: The Dark World. I'll tell you that much.
I'm not humming the Frost Giant theme.
Giant? No. I'm sure Malekith had a theme song. I couldn't tell you what it was. Probably just like a generic drum beat with like a bomb in the background or whatever. Just like one note over and over again, because that's how every single villain does in this movie, but or the universe, whatever. Okay, your pick.
Okay. Or no, is it your pick?
Right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and kill Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I honestly no.
You haven't seen it?
I know it's on like Netflix and Disney Plus, and it's right there. It's on all of my watch lists. I just don't.
So.
I don't like.
So the thing is,
like,
you have seen it because you saw all the trailers. There is one spoiler bit that happens, but outside of that, you've seen literally every single character or story beat in that movie. There's no surprises outside of them getting snapped, but then that's not a surprise. It just
anymore, right? But like, I know, and like the villain was supposedly like kind of follow, like not the same powers, but kind of follow that same trope of I can do stuff you can, but different.
Not even really. Ghost. Oh, actually, I kind of forgot like a lot of what happened in the movie. It was just kind of boring, but I think she could phase through stuff. I think she could turn invisible and go through stuff. Maybe I don't remember, but like I like the idea of a more like morally gray villain, especially at this point in the story, because like
Mm,
you had like more sympathetic villains or like villains who actually you kind of agree with their philosophy, like Killmonger, even Thanos to an extent.
mm,
But like Ghost, she was specifically doing things to try to save her own life. Like she was stealing stuff to like create this machine that would like help her live longer. Because I think she was at some point sucked into the quantum zone and like was like a like her body is like not really physically here. She's like tethered to that somehow. So she like partnered with someone. I think his name was like Giganta. No, sorry, that's a villain from Wonder Woman. She Gigant. Giant is like in there somehow. He has the ability to grow big, or like has a suit that can make him grow big. He didn't actually do that in the movie, but
okay.
um, he said that he could. Uh, he's this like big. He's this scientist guy who has been rivals with Hank Pym for a while, and it was fine. Like her as a villain, like I said, kind of worked for this point in the MCU, but it just kind of ended up being very forgetful, and like I don't really remember anything that happened past the second half. It, like they were being chased at some point by somebody, but I don't remember who sent them or why they were being. No, I guess they're just being chased by cops because no, no, because he faked that. Yeah, I don't remember. It's a weird movie. Whatever. Also, this movie kind of made me realize I didn't really like Scott Lang all that much. Like he just
Really?
yeah, like he's fine in the first one, but this one he was just kind of almost every single thing he said was just kind of annoying. I liked Wasp a lot better. And like Hank Pym, I liked him a lot too, but Scott was kind of the weakest character as far as like the main core cast. He was kind of my least favorite part of that movie.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
yeah, it's just it might be worth watching if there's something that happens later with Ghost or something, or if like the quantum realm actually like gets used even more so after Endgame. But like as far as right now, eh, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to be a completionist, you can probably skip it. As long as you if you've seen the trailers and you see the after credit scene, you're good, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the only thing I was a little like lost, I just didn't know that much about Wasp, but I mean, it was like I kind of filled in the gaps. I'm like, okay, so she's like him, but cooler,
yeah,
basically.
she's him, but she can fly. That's it.
Yeah,
Which it,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
honestly, like Wasp was a part of the original Avengers in the '60s. I honestly don't know why they went for Ant Man first, because Wasp has been around as a character way longer than he has. It just,
Hmm.
especially in the timeline where Ultron was made by someone who wasn't Hank Pym, so like that didn't tie in at all. So Hank Pym was just kind of here, not relevant to anything up to this point. But I don't know.
Hmm.
It's just a little weird how Wasp wasn't really a character until the second movie she was in, when she's I don't know, just a little weird. But anyway,
Nah.
your turn.
Okay, so going away from an MCU movie, I'm gonna go in X3, probably.
You know what's
Yeah,
funny?
X3.
You know what's funny? X3, it's a terrible movie, but it's actually my favorite of the three X-Men movies.
Of course it is. Of course
It's
it
just the
is.
most exciting. Like, there's some cool beats in X-Men 2, but like, I don't know. There's just something really, really satisfying about seeing, the main core X-Men cast lined up against millions
Yeah,
of like hundreds or even thousands of
a whole
other
army.
just
Yeah.
random mutants. Like that fight means nothing. That fight is so lifeless, but it's still kind of interesting. Like just like seeing all them use their different powers. Like I don't know, it's kind of fun, but it's bad. I'll give you that one. It's very bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I just remember they're trying to do so much going on, and they're
Mm,
trying to do this Phoenix thing and this mutant war and all this stuff, and then Scott just kind of dies because
Yeah,
off screen.
because he
Eh.
was also in Superman Returns, so he couldn't do like filming both at the same time. So they killed the
Uh,
character off early. um,
see, I didn't know that. I thought they were just like, that's a dumb thing, but
yeah,
that
uh,
makes sense.
yeah, like they're trying to do the Cure and the Mutant War and Phoenix, like, and also Professor X dies for some reason. Like that didn't need to happen.
Yeah,
Also, Juggernaut
that's what
was
I'm saying.
here
You
for
know,
the first time, but like he was done very weirdly. Not
it just
necessarily
looked
bad,
very
just
dumb.
weirdly. Just
She
weird.
did, and also, I didn't really feel like Juggernaut was that much of a threat because, like,
Yeah,
Juggernaut in the comics is that dude. Like, he's like on Hulk's level, like,
yeah. Like
like
every
pretty
single time in a
intense.
video game where you're supposed to fight Juggernaut, your goal is just run away. Like you don't ever
Yeah,
actually
it's like,
fight him. You just try to not die.
yeah, it's like the description bar is like survive,
Yeah.
like it's not.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And like Beast was kind of cool. Like Kelsey Grammer as the Beast was perfect casting.
Mm.
Um, but also I think Colossus might have first shown up in X2 but didn't do anything. And then he's also here in X3 but still didn't do anything. Like Colossus is one
Yeah,
of the coolest X-Men and he stood around and
kind of
maybe
doesn't.
punched a couple of things, but like he just I don't know. But like Storm was always cool as always. Wolverine obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Magneto is always still pretty cool. Like
Magneto.
lifting the Golden Gate Bridge and like the entire Golden Gate Bridge and making a bridge over to Auschwitz. Sorry, not Auschwitz. What is the name of that
Is it
prison that's off the coast of California?
Alcatraz?
Alcatraz. Yes. Like that was a really cool scene.
That's
Everything
pretty
before the
awesome.
climax is bad, but like
Yeah. Well, when it gets going, yeah, and like I get that. It's just, I guess for me, it's kind of has that like Spider-Man thing, or not Spider-Man 3, but well, kind of Spider-Man 3 and
mm,
Amazing Spider-Man 2, kind of trying to do too much
yeah.
at the same time, and like Batman versus, like trying to put 6 comic books into
Mm,
1 hour and a half, 2 hour
yeah.
movie, and you're just like, what?
Like
Hey, come on, let's
they
focus on
ruined the Phoenix story twice. They've done it
it. Yeah.
twice now.
It's bad because X-Men starting to become the new Fantastic Four, man. Like,
Yeah,
we got to fix that.
I'm
We can't have
so
that.
glad Disney is like, can we fix this? Like we might not bring them in anytime soon, but like just know that when we do X-Men stuff, it'll be its own timeline and better. Like thank you.
Right. Yeah, seriously. And just like, yeah, it's bad because like kids these days, they don't even like people. There are people that they're like, teenagers that don't even know who X-Men are. And I'm just like,
Mm,
I knew about the X-Men way before I knew about like Iron Man and all
yeah.
this. Like, I mean, yeah, Spider-Man you knew about, but you didn't know like Iron Man and
Mm,
like stuff like that. Like, I did not know who Black Panther
nope.
was before I knew who the X-Men were. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Like, there's
I mean,
no
also there's
way.
been like cartoons and movies throughout your entire lifetime, whereas kids now
That's
the only good X-Men movie in most kid timeline might be Days of Future Past. Even that, and that's not great. I don't know. I don't love it.
no, and it doesn't make sense. A lot of yeah, that movie did not make a lot of sense. Like I enjoyed the parts that I like because I like how they focused around Hugh Jackman instead of whichever Kitty Pryde they decided to use. But
Yeah.
just like,
Pretty right.
but I was literally just like, I don't understand. Like, so is this gonna be like Back to the Future, or is this gonna be like I wasn't really, and it wasn't really clear about like time travel rules
Mm.
really, but it was
Yeah,
cool.
and that was a movie that started the trend of us not caring about continuity at all.
Uh, nope. And they just got new people. And we're just like, who are these guys? Like,
Yeah, but yeah, X3. I don't care. Like I like it more than the other two, but it's not enough to save it. Not even close. Like both have two saves, but it's not. I already know which two I'm going to use it on. That was not one of them.
fair enough.
um. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go and kill Thor. First Thor.
Oh, yeah.
How do
Yeah.
you have a Thor movie and have an hour of it just him walking around a desert? Why?
It's not a good thing.
Why? Oh, wait, in order
Because
for
you
Thor to
need
make
to,
sense, you gotta humanize him first. You don't need to.
like, why? You didn't humanize. I mean, like, I understand humanizing the humans. Like, you want to see
Hmm.
Iron Man before he gets all the technology. You know, see him with the bare bones strip. You want to see that Captain America still had a good heart before he got all the superpowers. But
Yeah.
like with Thor, it's like he's Thor. You don't need to see him without the stuff. 'Cause when is he ever going to be without the power? Like, it's kind
Yeah.
of one of
This
those like,
movie and this movie alone.
yes, and it's never become. You know, and it's and again, it's one of those things where I guess you don't know it at the time. It's the first Thor movie, but like it's just kind of boring. You know,
Yeah.
it's boring. And then you have all of Thor's friends who are never relevant. Like I know they
Hmm.
like die or whatever, but they're not relevant
Yeah.
really. And
Like
like
the Warriors 3 are kind of cool, I guess, but like they're not. They don't carry the movie either. It's just.
no,
I guess maybe the idea is that like you have Thor walking around in the desert for an hour, so that when he does get his powers back and then is reestablished to be worthy again, it's like a cool climactic moment. And it's like supposed to be super impressive, but like
hmm
I wanted this the whole time. I didn't
yeah.
like the last hour.
I feel like this concept is more of a sequel concept than a first movie concept. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Like he
like you
was.
can't really
Yep.
you can't like really feel the weight of oh you've lost your power when you've only had your power for 10 minutes of runtime.
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't really feel like the audience isn't invested yet. We're just kind of like oh
Like
well that
yeah, we
sucks,
saw
but
him
like
fight those frost giants, but so like we kind of got a sense of what his power is, but like we didn't really get a connection with him as a character. We didn't really get to see what he could do. It
mhm.
was just yeah. And then all of a sudden he just loses his power after one action scene. It's like I want more of that, please.
Yeah, it's just kind of like oh guess we're not doing that
And then it
anymore.
feels like in Thor 2, he didn't learn anything. He just shows up again at the against those rock giants and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm here, like boom, like he did the same thing. It didn't there were no consequences that time. It's yeah,
Right?
I don't get it. But again, Loki was cool, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, Loki does his part,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
kind of
good
all
job.
you can do.
But yeah, that movie. If I appreciate how both Thor and Thor: The Dark World, like if you just watch the corresponding Avengers movie, you get it. Like you don't need to watch those movies in order to like understand what's happened. They more or less explain it to you.
Mm.
Like, oh yeah, Thor's here. You know, a year ago in the desert, something happened. We made weapons to contain him. But that's all you need to know. That something happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about it. Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how like the movies that are more enjoyable, it seems like more stuff that happens is relevant. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's like oh yeah, all this happened in Captain America, and like all this happened in like Winter Soldier. I'm like oh
yeah. Hmm.
that's going to be important later, but
Yeah.
I actually
Like
cared about that
you
movie.
can watch Age of Ultron without watching Thor: The Dark World or Iron Man
Yes.
3, honestly. But like Iron Man 3, I think is worth the watch. But
Yeah.
if you didn't watch Winter Soldier or didn't know what happened in Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron would just start and you're confused.
You're just like
Fight Hydra.
okay,
Hydra?
where is
What? Hydra? Why are they
where is Hydra?
here?
Hydra? Didn't we leave them in the 40s? Ooh.
Yeah, you thought so. And they're talking
Like,
about
we
Bucky
need
and like other things that happen. And like, what? Who's
yeah.
Bucky?
Like,
What?
and it's yeah, right? And it's weird because like because especially with Iron Man 3, like you literally pick up, oh, well, I'm back in suits. Like, I mean, yeah, the part with Pepper's kind of like, oh yeah, she's gone, but like, that could just be anything. That could just be we couldn't get, what's Gwyneth Paltrow for this movie. We
Yeah.
only have that many in our contract. That didn't have to be a actual issue that they
It is
came
a
across.
little weird how like actually very weird. I think you mentioned this before. How in Iron Man 3 he like gets rid of the reactor and is like, oh yeah, I'll just start over. But then he's just back to being just Iron Man, like
Yes.
his same cocky self. I think that's just kind of a Josh Whedon ism where like he pinpoints like one character trait and like really goes in on that, which is fine. Like, you know, for a 2 hour movie, like trying to, you know, especially when you have like a cast that's so big as Avengers, it makes sense to be like, okay, this is who this is how they act. Like, it makes sense to kind of pinpoint in on certain character traits, but like, he went through a whole movie where he went out of where he, you know, got through this, but now he's just back to being like that again. But whatever, we'll get to that.
Right. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Iron Man 3 a lot. I like Age of Ultron a lot, but those two movies do not go well together.
Yeah, it's not really needed. It's kind of just unnecessary.
Mm.
Where
Okay.
are we? I don't want to pick on X-Men, but I feel bad because there's not a lot else there.
I mean, there's still at least one sequel that, you know, needs to be eradicated.
Oh shoot, that's right. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't even see that.
Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. I'll be honest. I was literally looking, and I was like, well, no.
I still haven't seen this whole movie.
It's. I mean, there's.
Yeah.
No.
I've seen like every part of it, maybe, or at least like pretty significant chunks of it, just not all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen the Black Widow sequence, I've seen the finale, I've seen the opening 40 minutes of it like 6 times. Just,
yeah.
I don't like any character in this movie.
Yeah, it's just kind of. It's not really that important. Like, it's literally like. The only stuff that's really important is that, like,
Nick Fury and Black Widow show up.
Yeah, like, Tony Stark knows Black Widow, but that's not really.
The Avengers. If you just watch the Avengers without watching Iron Man 2, like, yeah, it makes sense these characters would know each other. Like,
yeah, or like, oh, they just know each other. Like, it's not that big. You know, they don't. And a lot of stuff from, you know, this movie isn't. I guess, like, you know, a lot of stuff from the movie isn't brought forward after this. It doesn't really matter what happens because really only the bad guys never referenced again. Yeah. I mean, the trope keeps going. This is kind of the first time we get this, like, oh, well, here we go. Like, but, like, you know, but, like, other than that.
Other than Don Cheadle being the new War Machine.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, War Machine starts up, but.
Yeah. Justin Hammer is actually a pretty cool villain. Like, he at least has, like, the charisma of a good villain.
Yeah, I think his character, I just think the execution of the character as terms of, like, the design and stuff's kind of, I mean, oh, yeah, he's Iron Man. Oh, yeah, well, I got whips. It's like,
yeah, all
right. But, like,
that's actually a different Iron Man villain who you're just calling Whiplash. Whiplash is a different villain who, like, create, like, fire whips. So it's like that's a lot of really Iron Man villains specifically, but a lot of different MCU villains are like an amalgamation of many different Marvel villains, which is fine. But like,
isn't there like an X-Men, like Task Force X kind of, or am I thinking of something else?
Well, maybe.
I know there's.
Maybe I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. I remember I was like, isn't this like one of like Wolverine's like Task Force S comrades or something like that? But I don't know if that's legit or not. Or they were just like, they're not using them. We can use it. I don't know.
Yeah. This movie, the climax was another guy in a bigger Iron Man suit than him, and he had to fight another big Iron Man suit. Like, it's so boring. We already did that.
Just like, but I just
like that little fight in the park is fun with Rhodey and Iron Man fighting together, but like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whiplash was not the villain to do here. It just wasn't the best call.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, no longer exists, so we're fine. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and kill X-Men 1. I think that movie is very boring. Nothing happens. and everything that does happen is just kind of it, it feels just kind of weightless because like it seems like every single opportunity to have and actually utilize these characters to their fullest potential, they just kind of whiff because there are several times when Sabretooth shows up and then Wolverine and Storm are both there. And Storm is like, Wolverine, you go take on Magneto, I'll take on Sabretooth. I'm like, but
Like,
those two, but Sabretooth and you and Storm, but that the
there's
rivalry is
many
right
things
there. You
wrong with
just
that
switch for
show.
some reason. Like, what are you doing?
Also, I would never be like, yeah, Wolverine, you can go take Magneto by yourself.
Yeah.
There's kind of a problem with
Your
that.
powers, you can grow metal blades out of your hand. You'll be fine against the guy that can control metal. Oh wait,
Wait a minute. I
kind
see
of
the
feels like he'd
problem.
be a better suit for the guy who's big, strong, and feral. Like Wolverine, whatever.
Yeah, still similar skill sets. That's
Yeah,
fine. And yeah, and then Rogue's kind of just Rogue makes no sense
I
in
don't
this
like what they
movie.
did with her character in that movie at all. I don't
No.
love Rogue as a character, but like at least do it right. Like she's like a
I don't.
16-year-old for some reason, and like she's like the point of view character. Yeah, Rogue is one of. So I don't love her, but she's still a pretty cool and like imposing character with a cool power. But
Yeah,
we just
I
never
feel like here
in any of these
she's
movies
just
we
kind
never
of
got to see her
there.
do anything.
Exactly. She's kind of like someone's like she's kind of like Jubilee from the animated series,
Yeah,
but just in the real. Yeah, she's kind of just there,
and Jubilee is
and
in
she's
this
important.
movie, and like you could have, or
Right.
like for like one scene, you could have had her be this,
But
but
like
no.
it's so weird because it's like they all stress how important, Rogue's so important. But I'm like, I'm hearing you, but I don't see any of the like, it's like why are we giving so much attention to this? Like I guess she's a
It's
kid, but like I don't know.
yeah. Also, Toad is just weird. He's a very
Yeah,
weird
so
villain.
yeah,
He has a long tongue.
there's a
Okay.
lot. Yeah, oh God.
And like there are several times when people, when like Toad is fighting Storm, for the longest time she's getting her butt whooped for no reason, even though she
Yeah.
can shoot lightning out of her fingers. Whatever. uh,
Or like I remember when Mystique is fighting Wolverine, and they're
yeah.
like, "Wait, which one's the real Wolverine?" I'm like, well, she can't do his power, so just
But why
do the
is
thing. And
Mystique? Why is Mystique a match for Wolverine? That's never made sense to me.
no, at all. And it's like, why would you even?
She can change her outer appearance, but she can't change what's inside of her, as far as I know.
Right.
Do you have anything else you want to say about X-Men?
Uh, that's about it. I mean, it
Yeah.
was interesting. I remember at the time I really liked X-Men, but it was just kind of like I realized as I got older, I was like, this is kind of weird. And the movie's like 2000, so I'm not gonna give it
Yeah.
like crap about
Like
effects, but
probably
like,
for the time and as like the first, not it wasn't the first real comic book movie, but like the first, what we consider the first of like the modern era of comic book movies. Like it did its
mhm.
job well, but like it's very cheesy, very just kind of didn't really know what to do with the characters a lot, but like it got the job done.
Yeah. Okay.
Your turn.
So I'm thinking first event, like Captain America: First Avenger, because
Won't fight you
not
on that
not a
one.
bad, yeah, not a bad movie, but again, kind of just all right. It has a good. I feel like it has a good stuff, but I feel like
Yeah,
a lot of it's kind of just you
it
know,
has a good message. It has some good backstory with Howard Stark.
yeah,
Um, Red Skull's a pretty cool villain. He's just a Nazi, but like he's still a cool villain. Um, it does take a little too long to really get going. Like I think he finally becomes Captain America like an hour in or somewhere around
something like
that.
that.
And then once he does become Captain America, like actually gets onto the battlefield, pretty much every single action sequence is pretty good. but it's just kind of, especially nowadays, it's not really that exciting anymore.
Yeah, not up to the standard. Which yeah, and I think that was part of their like try, because it is the 40s. They're trying to make it look very, analog with a lot of their fight scenes
Hmm.
and stuff like that because you can't have ray guns and stuff like that really. But
Yeah,
it's still pretty good for what it is. And like I said, the message is really good. I like that you see kind of where Captain America comes from. He's a
hmm,
different, but and then like when it shifts to all the way in the future, it's like, it makes sense that he's totally like, what the heck's going on? Because we just
yeah.
saw that they didn't even have like TV, let alone
Hmm.
like smartphones and stuff now. So
Yeah. Again, you don't necessarily need to see it in order to understand the Avengers, but like it's a good kind of prequel to the Avengers.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's fine.
yeah. Honestly, the only one you really need to see for the Avengers is like kind of Iron Man,
Kind of.
but not even that really.
Yeah, because I saw the Avengers pretty much completely blind. I didn't see any of the original, at least not like fully. I think I played the Hulk video game. Yeah, I think I played the Incredible
Give
Hulk
you
video
some
game, which is
background.
way better than the movie. Way better.
Fair
Not a
enough.
great game, but it's still better than that movie. um. Okay, my turn. I am going to kill Ant Man. First Ant Man.
Mm, mm,
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
fine. I really liked all the supporting cast members of that movie. Um, especially Luis. I think that's his name. Uh,
Yes.
yeah. Um, it it did a good job of introducing Scott Lang. It did like the heist that they went on was, you know, pretty fun to watch. But then the Wasp was just another stupid mono e mono, but I'm better than you fight. That's it.
You mean, what's his name? Yellow Jacket or
Yeah,
whatever?
Yellow Jacket. Yeah, sorry, Yellow Jacket, which is another
Yeah.
mono e mono, but I'm slightly better than you. But I'm gonna win anyway somehow. It's just I was already so tired of those, and like Winter Soldier had already come out and perfected that formula, but actually did it interesting.
Yeah.
But then this is just yeah. It I would definitely rather watch Ant Man over Ant Man the Wasp, but like it it's still just not
Yeah.
that. The Falcon versus him is pretty cool. That little fight is fun, but like
It was more interesting than I thought it was good. Like, it's funny because the whole time he's like, oh crap, it's an Avenger.
yeah,
But, like, his
it's
power is interesting. He's like,
especially since Falcon didn't even like really show up in Age of Ultron, which he it makes
mm,
would have made so much sense for when Rhodey swooped in to also have Falcon just kind of also there, but no, just Rhodey.
yeah.
Fine, whatever. uh, but yeah, it Ant Man just kind of it's yeah, it's whatever. Worth a watch, but not really. Don't not super high in the priority list. IMO.
No.
Your turn.
Okay. Okay. One of the Spider-Man has to go, and I'm thinking Spider-Man 3 just because that whole kind of like I talked about earlier, that whole like trying to do 10 things at a time
Yeah,
thing, which
in like it's not like X3 where it's my favorite of the trilogy, but it still kind of fits that mold of like being so bad is enjoyable, but also just kind of like a fun action movie. Um,
yeah.
plus just like the way the way James Franco is the way he's treated in that movie is just insane. Like he starts the movie, as the new Goblin. Why he isn't called the Hobgoblin, I'll never know, but whatever. And then he just immediately gets into a coma, and then like multiple times throughout that movie, he just teleports. Like he's in that coffee shop, and then a car drives by, he's gone, and like even the guy sitting at the table next to him looks back and is like, "What? What just happened? Where'd he go?" Like that's so ridiculous.
He has powers, so he's obviously the
It
Flash
does.
now.
I don't think the new guy one has powers, but okay.
Something. I mean, he has to have something, I guess, to like be on Spider-Man's level.
And then when
but...
Spider-Man, gets the black suit and like he goes to Harry's house and just blows him up relentlessly. Like he didn't need to do that.
Yeah. Like the scene where he like throws the bomb and he like drowns and like splits it and throws it back and it's
cool
just like,
scene.
bro. Yeah, it's cool, but it's also like, yo, that was your friend. You did not need to do him like that.
And then he came to help you and then died trying to help you. It's like, come on.
Yes. He did not deserve that.
No.
He did not deserve any of that. He was just like, he went through so much. And then like, his butler just casually lied to him the whole time.
Yeah.
Just like, he killed my dad. Like, oh, by the way, I know you've been like trying to kill Spider-Man because you think he's killed his dad, but it actually didn't. He killed himself. Like, you've been waiting to tell me this until what? Like, I just
5 years? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. There was no reason to hold, like, there was no like never tell Harry this or anything like that. It was just, he's not ready. Like, what is that?
I don't know. And just the ridiculousness of the black suit, I think, kind of teeters on the point of like they knew what they were doing. Like I think they knew the script was bad, so they were just like working with what they had and made it as fun, ridiculous as they possibly could.
Yeah.
It's still bad.
Yeah.
Like
I just love the like club scene where he's just so into it and like the snapping gets so intense and like
when Stacy's there too, which just adds to the ridiculousness of just all the stuff they're trying to pour into that movie.
Yeah, it's like, so I don't know, and I love the black suit. I always love the symbiote suit concept for Spider-Man. So like, I thought that was just awesome. And I remember when it first came out, I was like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
But it's also like. But the thing about Venom is just like, it's just poorly done, and I feel like it would have almost made sense for Harry to be Venom in this movie.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, it would have made perfect sense because Eddie Brock just showed up in that movie, like he just shows up one random scene. It's like, "Hi, I'm Eddie Brock. I'm dating your daughter," and then starts taking pictures. Like that's not interesting.
It is just no, and it's so weird because like. And I know it's not comic book accurate, obviously, but
neither is Sandman killing his dad.
Exactly, but like, which I still don't get that. Yeah. But that would have been so cool because he would have had legit motivations. Mm-hmm. He would have already known everything about Peter Parker. Like the stuff that Venom knows about Peter Parker is like, oh, the suit, which like I know that's a thing, but like you wouldn't have to use that. He would just know everything about Peter already, and like it would have felt more. Mm-hmm. Organic of a betrayal, you know what I'm saying? Like it would have made more sense.
I think like one, maybe two sequences of Peter being a jerk or like Peter getting the way of Eddie. Like Peter kind of inadvertently got Eddie Brock fired, but like there was no real tension between their characters. Whereas in the comics, they were rivals at this company for years. Whereas here he just shows up and hates him. Like it just. Yeah, it would have made so much more sense thematically for Harry to be the one to try to kill Spider-Man as Venom.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I hate him because he stole my girlfriend. I was like, were you really dating her? Like, I don't remember ever seeing you guys together. Or like, and also it's like, and he's like, oh, he ruined me. I'm like, okay, but you like docked those photos. Like he didn't do, like, he was just doing his job. He's trying to do it for him. Like he didn't do anything. Trying to hurt you. He's just doing best for him, and like, I'm gonna kill Peter Parker. Like, maybe you just need therapy, bro. Like, I don't know.
And then Venom just looked bad. Like he wasn't like he had the big bulky, basically Spider-Man but better. It was just still very slim, and he wasn't actually Venom for most of it. Like the head.
Yeah, it came
off Venom's head for most of it. Like, why?
Yeah, which is weird. It was kind of like, just like, it's just me. It almost felt like, just me and another Spider-Man. It felt like he just stole the black suit. He didn't actually steal the symbiote.
Yeah,
He didn't become Venom.
exactly.
And also, it just, yeah. I do like, I did like the times when it was Venom. Like, it was like very monstrous. It was like the shriek and like try to
Yeah.
bite people. So, like, I think that's great. And I feel like you should do much more of that instead of more like,
Hmm.
this is kind of, he just take his mask off. And I love Topher Grace because of that 70s show. But
Right, right.
like, I just, and this I'm just like, bro, stand down, don't do it. Where's, like, I can't do it. But, so crazy.
Yeah. And then everything with Sandman just doesn't make sense either. But
Yeah, I mean, Sandman, well, I like Sandman's idea and I like his motivation with like his daughter and everything. But
mm,
I think overall it was kind of just
yeah.
couldn't save it,
Mm.
Get the best of what you could. Also, Mary Jane makes no sense in that movie. That I
I don't
sorry,
like her in any of these
I know
movies.
that's
I
right.
don't like her in any of these movies. It's
No,
just
no, she is so like she's always complaining about stuff that's like it's like you weren't there for me. It's like I'm Spider. Like this makes sense when you don't know I'm Spider Man. That you're like, why are you never there for stuff?
I told
But
you.
I'm Spider Man.
Didn't he
I
tell
have
her
told
last
you.
movie that he's Spider-Man?
Yes. So it's been a significant amount of time you've known I'm Spider Man. So like if I'm not there for you, I'm probably saving someone's life.
Yeah.
And you said you were cool with that. And like now you're not cool with it anymore. Like you
Like
didn't come to my play. I was saving lives.
I it definitely it makes sense for a character to like have for a couple to have conflict when one of them is a superhero. But like the way she complains just makes no sense, and like, what she complains about makes
Yes.
no sense. But
It's like
yeah,
it's just like super, and it makes her character so annoying. And like parts of me are like, oh, Mary Jane, I love you. Like, dude, you can do better than her. You don't need her. Like,
Mhm.
I'd rather you take like the rent guy's daughter. She's at least
Yeah.
reasonable, probably,
Um,
and she makes cookies.
yeah, pretty good.
What do you need?
Um, although I do love just how many memes came out of that
Bring me rent,
movie.
like
Renfield.
like the Thanos and
Die.
Iron Man. It's like
Uh,
bring me rent. It's like you get your rent when you fix the door. So
yep,
funny.
I love that.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh. I love memes are amazing.
okay, my turn. Um, yeah, I think Captain Marvel's next.
Dang it! I was like,
That was your
I was
your
gonna
next one.
yes, that was my next. I literally just like I'm gonna do Captain Marvel next.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine movie.
Yeah, but
I
that's just kind of
yeah,
it's just okay.
it's enjoyable. Captain Marvel's a fine character. She doesn't really have any conflict or really much of a character at all, honestly. But like other characters around her are cool. Nick Fury, '90s Nick Fury is kind of fun to be around.
Yeah, and
Um,
Colson.
and Coulson, yeah, for the like 2 minutes he's on screen.
Yeah, for real.
Her other friend, who's also in the Air Force, was fun. Um,
Mm,
the Kree planet was just a kind of generic alien planet. Every
yeah.
single alien planet in this universe kind of looks that way. Uh, Jude Law is just great in everything he's ever been in. Uh, it's fine. Story is
Yeah.
fine.
No, yeah,
Action's
nothing
fine.
like
Nothing bad.
yeah,
Nothing great. It's fine. Just enjoy.
yeah, like nothing. I will say, I think it was more confusing than it needed to be
Yeah.
because I don't like the first time I saw it, I'm literally just like, okay, like I kind of got the sense, okay, these guys say they're the good guys, but they're really the bad guys. They had that vibe,
Mm.
but the whole time I'm so confused on who's what.
I
I'm just
don't
like, do they have
love
the
that the
same powers?
Kree are also good. Like, I would have been fine if this wasn't the first time the Kree were introduced. Like, if the Kree had been in some other, like, they've been, like, a part of or a Guardians movie, or, like, Thor had mentioned them or
Mhm.
something. But this was the first time the Kree had been in a movie. And they're good now. It would have been more like, it would have been, like, tension would have been stronger if the Kree had already been established as at least a race of at least mischievous people, and then here, like the whole movie, you think it's about actually fighting the Kree for once, and then sorry the scrolls.
Scroll.
I'm trying to say yeah. The entire time, switch the word Kree was scrolls. The scrolls. If the scrolls were mentioned at least once before, or like someone was hinted at being like at the end of one of the movies, Rhodey just like became a scroll or something, that would have been fun. But like if they were at a point before this movie said to be bad, and then this movie you think, okay, we're actually gonna be fighting the scrolls, but then it turns out this subset of scrolls played by Ben Mendelsohn, who was always the villain, but here he's actually kind of good now. That would actually be kind of thematically interesting. But instead, it's just, oh yeah, the scrolls are good. Secret Wars, what is that? I don't know. Like, just,
we're not doing that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
a lot going on.
It just kind of makes the universe a little muddy. Like, I know this universe isn't at all like super comic accurate, but like there are some cool stories with the scroll that they just can't really do to their fullest potential now because you like to know that some of them are actually really good. But and like they tried to make them kind of morally gray, but like you're not bad guys. It just yeah.
It's kind of just it's just okay. Like it's not I know some people are like, oh, it's awful. It's not. It's not. But it's not by any means.
People only say that because they don't like Brie Larson for just arbitrary reasons. That's it.
Right, and it's like no, like as a movie,
she's a
it's
fine character. But she doesn't have much charisma. I give you that one for this movie.
Yeah,
she's super great in other movies. For some reason, in this movie, she's just fine. She's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's interesting. Like like she's like the least interesting character in her own movie. She kind of has that trope going, which that happens. But I think that's kind of like because kind of like
Thor
not to I think yeah. But see, that movie has like no interesting characters.
Yeah,
That's different. I was gonna say kind of how like Black Panther, you're like T'Challa's a Goomba, but he's not like the most compelling character in the movie. You're really looking at, oh man, Killmonger's really cool. Oh, I really like Claw. Oh, I think Shuri's really like you're looking at all the supporting characters.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of just highlighted because the main character's kind of just not bland, but just not super the main guy,
Yeah, like I'm not a women hater because I don't love this movie, and I'm SJW because I kind of like this movie. It's fine, okay? Can we all shut up about it? It's a fine movie. It's inoffensive.
Movie.
There's nothing in the movie that's like super feministy or like it's fine. Maybe I'd have a different opinion if I were a woman, but like I don't. It's fine. I don't know.
No, like it's just a female lead superhero movie. There's no like underlining feminist themes.
Like
that
everyone
I know
involved with the movie tried to make it like that going in, but it's not really. It's with a female lead. Yeah. That's enough. But it's just not my favorite. Fine. Your turn.
Okay. Where are we? Is it time for Iron Man 3 yet?
Yeah,
a little early.
I'll give it to you. There's no other movies outside of maybe one that's like kind of questionable because a lot of people love this movie, but like I don't love it.
Yeah.
But outside of that one movie I'm thinking of, Iron Man 3 is like probably like second tier. So
yeah, opening is probably like and again, not a bad movie, but again, I guess kind of what we've talked about before. The ending is essentially doesn't even happen because it's like I will give up all my suits, and then literally Age of Ultron right back in action.
Yeah. As a trilogy, it works very well. Like as the end of a trilogy of this is the end of Iron Man, it works. And then Endgame also did that, but as far as like this era of Iron Man, it works very well. But then they just kind of keep doing Iron Man stuff again, as if the movie didn't happen.
Right, because you have to. Iron Man's such an integral part of this universe. You have to have him in the Avengers movies, and then he's part of Spider-Man and like
Civil War.
Yeah, right. Obviously, like Yeah, with
Yeah.
Avengers 2.5.
I honestly really like the fact that this movie, he's not Iron Man for most of it. I actually really like that. I think like you've already seen him in four other movies. Sorry, three. Yeah, three other movies up to this point. He was the main character of the Avengers. Like we've
Yeah.
already seen him do Iron Man stuff a lot. So actually having a movie that like humanizes him more. See, like this is a situation where just like with Thor, humanizing this type of character actually makes sense. Like he feels like he's invincible. Like he was the first superhero as far as we know, and like he can do any. He's the invincible Iron Man. He can do anything. And then one terrorist just wipes him out, and he has to fend for himself for a while. So like him just walking around the forest, like actually thematically makes sense. Also, Riley was just a pretty cool character. Uh, all the stuff with like the remote suits that he fights with was also pretty cool. Again, it didn't actually end up mattering, but the Iron Patriot, it's a pretty cool concept. I wish
Oh
there
yeah.
was another. I wish there was at least one more sequence of Iron Man and Iron Patriot fighting together, but whatever. Putting the president in an Iron Man suit and flying him out was also pretty pretty
That's
fun.
pretty smart.
Yeah. The finale of just like the Iron Legion like lining up to fight all those
Mm-hmm.
Mandarin people. Which the Mandarin, I think, I'm kind of torn because the Mandarin's he's a fine villain. Like he's definitely a very intimidating villain in the comics, but he's really not that cool. He's just kind of there, in my opinion. but like the way this movie like messes with your expectations of, oh crap, like the Mandarin as I know him, his was a very cool voice, like aesthetically he looks just like the Mandarin, but then he's revealed to just be just some actor guy. Like he's not actually a terrorist, he's just some actor, and then this other again another Iron Man villain who's just a scientist who doesn't like him, but whatever.
It's a theme.
Yeah, who has like weird fire powers. Like the way it happened was could have been better, but the fact that the Mandarin was a front is a really cool concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like I know not to be too like sad about like reality, but especially in our world and those movies like 2011 to like middle terrorist times, so like
Yeah.
we're also kind of like, all right, well there he is, especially he looks like
In 2013,
yeah.
literally every single movie had a terrorist Afghani person or in that area as the villain. So like this is a nice change of pace.
Yeah. You thought, oh, it's gonna go right inside. It's like, oh no, actually, it's the white guy. Like,
Okay.
which also, okay, like I know Pepper gets powers near the end. Does she still have those?
They said in the epilogue of that movie that either in the epilogue or in Age of Ultron that they like did surgery to get rid of them. I don't know how, but they said they got rid of them.
Okay, yeah, because I remember thinking, I was like, she's just gonna show up in Infinity War and just be like, "Give me back my time." Like,
Yeah, I don't know why they got rid of them because that's really cool. I guess they were like volatile, and he wasn't really sure what would happen if she kept it, but
like learn how to control it. Maybe she just didn't want that for her life.
I get it.
It's bad enough when your husband or kind of husband is a superhero. You don't want to have to be one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, it's really not as bad as people make it out to be. People are only upset at the fact that the Mandarin is not the actual Mandarin. That's really the only reason people are mad. And like Iron Man,
it's really good.
Like, he makes some weird decisions, but like they all make sense based on what he's been through. So.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So. This next movie might be slander to a lot of people. A lot of people regard this movie as the best MCU movie. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I don't.
My best friend loves this movie. Yeah.
I don't get it. I'm sorry. It's okay.
That's all right. I'm not.
I don't know. The soundtrack is very good.
This is true.
Not really used in a way that's like super thematically interesting. I do love how it's almost entirely diegetic, which means like every single time a song happens, it's literally like being listened to in the movie. Um,
That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, so I really like that. Uh, but Ronan sucks. He just sucks. Another big gray guy. Like, it's just. That's the best you could do with a Guardians of the Galaxy villain. Just another big gray villain. Like, Ronan in the comics is like, has that blue or purple, whatever, Kree face with like a big, like, like a huge, like bright green suit of armor looking thing. But here he's just like, he's blue with black face paint with a gray hoodie. It's just he could have been so much more interesting, especially in a movie that is so colorful as Guardians. You have the villain be just a big gray guy, when in the comics he is super vibrant. It's weird, and like the whole hook of the movie is supposed to be it's a superhero movie, but it's funny. Like, yeah,
You've seen that.
that's kind of the MCU's thing. The Avengers isn't a bore fest. Every Iron Man movie is him quipping every 20 seconds. Like even Captain America: Winter Soldier, like it's super serious, but they still find time to make jokes every now and again. Like it's them being funny. It being a comedy superhero movie isn't really anything new. Even at that point, James Gunn had made actually a couple of superhero movies that were funny before this, so it's really nothing interesting even for him. It's and like the way the them teaming up, like they're all cool individual characters, but like I know it's their first movie as a team, but like when they all got together, I just didn't really feel it. I just didn't really get emotionally invested in these characters really at all in this movie. I way got into them in Guardians 2, but as far as this movie, just kind of, yeah, I don't know. And then
Yeah.
the climax just didn't really make sense of like all of them holding hands was enough to overpower the Power Stone. Maybe it had something to do with him being part god, but like we didn't know that at the time. So
Maybe.
I don't know.
That would have been something good to
It
like.
just seemed. I don't know. Also, like Thanos was in this movie, but like everyone forgets that like he was in the movie, and they didn't really do anything with it. He never got out of his chair. He just kind of like shouted at Ronan, and like that was it. Like, that's
Yeah.
his real first appearance outside of the after credits scene.
He was social distancing. He was
He
social
was social
distancing.
distancing. Also, he was blue. Why was he blue in that movie?
Yeah. Because it was a theme. They needed one more to have Blue Man Group.
He was like purpley red in the Avengers. He was blue in that one. He was like a dark purple in Age of Ultron. Then he was like bright purpley pink in Infinity War. I was like, okay.
I think he just has like different. He has like mood lights or something, or I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever.
What's your mood today? Oh, you're feeling purple, aren't you today,
Oh, no.
Mr. Thanos? It's like,
That's just getting ready for
purple
battle.
moon.
When he's actually in battle, he's pink. But when he's getting ready for battle, when he's sitting, his blue is just sitting around. You know?
Yeah.
Like before he turned
like,
in,
pink is like,
before he
okay.
turned around in the first Avengers, before he turned around, he was blue. But when he turned to the camera, he turned purple.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I think so many people are distracted by the jokes and distracted by the soundtrack that they just kind of have it in their mind that it's such a good movie. They have such good feelings come out of it because of all the jokes, which half of them are good, and all the music. The story could be a lot better. The action could be it's a kind of generic superhero action movie. Like I don't know, it's like take every Star Trek and superhero movie slapped together. There you go, which is fine,
Mhm.
but it's not top tier Marvel material. I am in my opinion.
No, not revolutionary. Like this changes everything. No,
Yeah. Okay,
fair enough.
your turn.
All right, my turn. Okay. I'm gonna say Doctor Strange,
Oh,
which I do. I know this is kind of I know, and like I feel bad because I feel like I don't like this movie as much as a lot of other people
I
do.
agree. Maybe because I didn't see it in theaters, but like, I kind of agree. It's fine. It's like Iron Man but with magic. It's fine.
Yeah, kind of. You know, it's kind of it's like because they're very similar characters, like kind of that smart aleck, quippy, I'm smarter than you kind of thing. Which
Mm,
I get it. You know, they're both Sherlock Holmes and continuities, but like,
yeah.
so like but like it's great, and the visuals for this movie are amazing. I did see this in
Yeah.
theaters, and
Mm,
I was like, my jaw was dropping. I was
mm.
like, dude, that's awesome. But other than that, it was just kind of all right. You know, I
Yeah.
didn't really feel super like
They
into like I can't really remember the story other than Doc. You know,
Dormammu.
he's a surgeon, gets into an accident, and then becomes a sorcerer. That's kind of
Yeah.
the main part I remember.
Also, they didn't really utilize the magic really in a way that was as interesting as it could have been because essentially what it boiled down to was kung fu but with magic rings around their fingers. That's how most of it ended
Yeah.
up being. And they expanded more on it in Infinity War and Endgame, but like far as this move, like introducing this character goes, it just kind of a lot of run around doing this, like making shields, and like he didn't really like shoot a lot. It was a lot of punching and teleporting and kicking, but like that's just kind of how every Marvel movie is. Like even when you really got to see the Grand Master, you know, go like fight those like three guys at once. She just has these magic fans, and she's like, again, just kind of martial arting, which is fine,
Mhm.
but like, I want to see you do cool magic stuff. I want to see you literally bending reality around you and like you making magic tendrils come out and like turning people to butterflies, like like he does in
Yeah.
Infinity War. Like
Oh,
that's so
that would be
cool.
so cool. That is really cool.
Like visually, it looked really cool. Um, and also every single time they make a portal, they make it like 20 feet in front of them. So they have to like make a portal and then run at it. They can't like make the portal come to them or make the portal right in front of them. And like more times
Right.
than not, they would make the portal and like get knocked out of the way or like something would happen and they can't actually go into it. Like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because and you've seen that, like, because we've seen Thor Ragnarok, they can like move portals and stuff
Yeah.
easily. So I'm like, why don't we make this easier on ourselves, or just
Mm,
make a portal around your feet and you
yeah.
just drop to where you want to go? Like,
Mm.
you know, simple.
Um, the like the scene where he's fighting that other guy in like that spiritual plane was very cool though.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Anything else you want to say about it?
Yeah. Cool. I like how also like input like how this is one of the fewer times, because we've seen Infinity Stones used in a movie, but this is one of the main times where it's like really used,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
So I really like how like with the whole like time stone
Mm.
limbo thing with Dormammu. I like how that's like actually like not just seen but like used by the main character.
Yeah. Did did he actually kill Mads Mikkelsen's character, main villain guy?
I don't I don't
I
think
don't remember.
so. I don't I think I remember hearing he didn't, but like he might have. I don't
Hmm.
remember. It's
I
been a
know
while. I need
Mordo
to watch.
got away and like turned evil near the
Yeah.
end, but I don't know what happened to him. Yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
oh Doctor Strange 2 is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, no, I can, yeah, because they know what magic people kind of like now, so I
Mm,
think they're really gonna like
yeah.
go in on it.
Hmm. Like it won't have the same director,
I'm,
but like I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi, he's got this.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. It's gonna be
Speaking
cool.
of
It's
Sam
like I
Raimi,
go nuts.
Spider-Man 1. Bye.
Yeah, that was my next pick.
I
I
was
was
one step ahead of
yeah.
you.
That was yeah,
It's
it's
fine
good, but
for again
yeah.
at the time of like honestly the Spider-Man trilogy mirrors the X-Men trilogy weirdly good, like weirdly like verbatim. Like the first one is a solid superhero movie for the time that is super dated and like super cheesy and like
Mhm.
it was made now, people would hate it. But
Yeah, weird
the second
effects, but
one
like
is
you
the
know.
best, and the third one tries to just do way too much into one movie and just ends up being one mess.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's so
Now
bad
that
it's
you
good.
say,
Like just yeah, it's weird.
and then the newer X-Men movies that are suck, they're the Amazing Spider-Man. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all it makes
Apocalypse and
sense.
Phoenix are one and two. That's
It's
crazy.
all connected. That's
It's
actually
all come
super
together.
wild. I actually didn't even realize
Yeah,
that.
but William Defoe is perfect,
Yes.
perfect Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Like if you can't
I
be the
love it. I
Joker, Green
love
Goblin, that's good enough. Like you, yes.
right. I love it because he does the voice well. His intensity
Mm,
it's amazing. And the Green Goblin's always been one of my personal favorite
yeah.
characters. And I just delivered so well. And
Mm,
you can like he's got kind of like the Joker. He's like being entertaining while being menacing. You know,
yeah.
because when you're not the one in danger, you're like, oh, the Joker, that's kind of funny. Or like, here you're like, oh, that is kind of clever what he
Mm.
said. And like,
Like his
so
suit
like,
was a Power Man. I'm sorry, a Power Rangers outfit, but it fit the vibe the movie was going for. Like it.
yeah, it kind of had because he couldn't do the whole like satchel and yeah, weird hat or whatever. Like it had to be somewhat like normalized,
Mm,
and it makes sense that Oscorp would make like a flight suit. He just has a
yeah.
random helmet for some reason, and
Mm,
yeah, I like it. I think it's really good. I don't know, I just like I really like Norman Osborn's character. I like how and I'm like he's a smart dude. Like he
yeah.
figured it out. Peter Parker smart man. Like he's not dumb. Like like he's at his house. He's like you were aware, and he notices he's got a cut and he's bleeding, and that
Yeah.
like I don't it's a smarter movie.
Every single time in a movie, someone, except for in maybe Spider-Man 2, every single time someone realizes, like, I've been fighting Peter Parker as, like, it's always a good scene outside of, yeah, again, maybe Spider-Man. It's,
Yeah.
because, like, the way they figure it out, like, just, oh, yeah, it's very solid.
Right. It's never like, oh, there's no way. It's like, wait, it could be. No,
That
wait.
actually makes a lot of
Then
sense. Yeah.
again,
Again, like,
yeah, that would
for most superheroes, if you thought about it for 3 seconds, yeah, obviously Bruce Wayne is Batman. Like, come on.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. Clark Kent. Yeah, he just wears glasses. Of course, how did I not notice that?
Like the only reason
He's
Joker
huge.
doesn't know who Bruce Wayne, or the only reason he doesn't know Bruce Wayne is Batman because he doesn't care. Like if he did, he would have
Yeah.
assassinated him already, but he just doesn't care.
Right. Which I think is so much better. I think
Yeah.
that's good because that's a good reason for not knowing because it's
Mhm.
like it's not that hard to think of these secret identities, man. Like,
Yeah.
it can only be so many people.
Hmm. But yeah, it was very much so a movie of of the early 2000s, which is fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's just very dated and cheesy, but it's still a solid movie. Like it's still watchable. I watched it actually kind of recently.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
your move.
Okay. Where to move next? It's starting to get into the slightly
You want me to,
harder
like,
category.
Run down what we have left.
Yeah, go ahead.
Iron Man, The Avengers, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, Civil War, Guardians 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home, Deadpool, Spider-Man 2, X2, Logan, Deadpool 2.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. Like, I mean, X2, like,
Yeah, I guess. I
it's
guess.
kind of like, it's not like bad, but it's like, I just, like, I
Every
can't
other movie on here
justify
is
it over,
fantastic. So,
yeah, like, I can't justify it over anything else. I don't
and
dislike
X2
this
is still
movie.
very good. There's some very cool, like Magneto is so cool in that movie.
Yes.
Like that
Yes.
scene of him just like of him expertly exiting that like pulling the iron out of that guy's blood and like using it to like ride on is so cool.
I didn't even. I remember being as a kid losing my mind because I never realized that the metal inside your body. Like I was
Hmm.
just like, or like kind of like how like I know it's super tangent, but like how like metal bending and Legend of Korra was
Yep.
like they can use like mercury and poison and stuff like that, and it's just like, bro, that's so
So
cool.
cool.
Like
Yeah.
yes, because it's But anyway, but yeah, this is really good. I like how this is their second movie, and I like how the characters are kind of done a little bit better.
Hmm.
Especially Wolverine is even more enjoyable now. I know they have
Yeah.
like, I just yeah, I remember this X-Men movie more than the others just because like I liked this one and it felt more like a team movie with the X-Men. The first time it was just kind of just like, it felt more Power Rangery.
Yeah.
This time it
Feel
actually
that.
makes more sense.
Yeah. Like Wolverine's fight versus X-24. Is that what the
Something
lady with
like
the
that.
long, metal
I think
uh,
so.
transfer? Yeah, that was a cool fight. Stryker was just a
Hmm.
very like, even though he didn't have powers, he was still a very imposing figure for that movie.
Yeah,
Delving into
which I think
Wolverine's
that's very
backstory,
cool.
it was just phenomenal. Of course, they've ruined an X Men Origins Wolverine, but I love that movie so much, so bad, so bad. um, but yeah, it's really good. And if it were made today, it would honestly like be phenomenal. But because it was still kind of in that same era of movies, kind of were limited what you can do, and
Yeah,
yeah.
especially with the amount of extra-ness you'll need to do an X-Men movie well. It's like that's a
Hmm.
lot of budget.
Yeah, yeah, very very good movie, but like just barely missing the top half. Sorry. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, we're down to the halfway through.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my turn. The first Deadpool movie, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Uh, I
Yeah, I
really
mean,
like it, but I
I
like
do
Deadpool 2
too.
slightly more. I like
Yeah,
it slightly more.
I originally I liked the first one better, but I think
Mhm.
after rewatching them both, I think I liked the first one because that was the first time I'd seen anything like that.
Yeah,
Because like that had never really been done
yeah.
before to that
Like
level. But like, God,
people who like praise Guardians for being a superhero movie that's funny with a great soundtrack clearly haven't seen Deadpool or Deadpool 2. Like those movies are hilarious and have
Blair,
literally
yes.
the best soundtrack usage of any movie I've ever seen. Like the songs they pick, not only are they good, but they actually fit what's going on in the scenes. Like
In
they,
the yes,
yeah, and they do that better in Guardians too.
and
But
there,
like Deadpool did it first, so
yeah, and the action's so good. Like, yes,
mhm.
incredibly violent, but
Yeah.
like it's so action packed and entertaining because the
Hmm.
whole time it never feels like it's like yeah, a lot of it's just slicing through a bunch of like you know like goons basically, but
Mm.
it's done in such an entertaining way and making jokes the whole time, like the counting bullets thing
Yeah,
or
I love
like
that.
yeah, like I love this stuff and
Mm.
I don't know, it's just
Yeah, at this point, all of these movies are so good. We're just gonna
yeah.
praise it, but then kill it anyway. Like,
Yeah, yeah, like oh, it was amazing. Well, bye.
bye.
I think we have to.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
name of the
Deadpool. I
game.
mean,
Kill. Like, it wouldn't be kill your
yeah,
babies if you didn't love
yeah.
all these
Up to this
things.
point, we've been killing other people's babies. We haven't been killing our own.
Yeah, like I love X-Men 3, but like it's not good. It's not one that I would like die on a hill for. But Deadpool, I would like if someone didn't like it, I would at least question them.
I'd be like, dude, like,
What's wrong with you?
come on, like, yeah, because like it's a great movie, and it's so, and like, I don't know, there's just so many, like, it never stops trying to entertain you.
Hmm.
There's a kind of joke for everyone, there's the like, and it tells I mean, it's a pretty easy story, but it tells it well, it's like,
Mm.
I had this girlfriend, and I got this, and then I lost her, and now I'm trying to get her back, and all this stuff, and I'm looking for France.
Yeah.
Where's France?
And Colossus has done so much better in that movie than it's ever been.
Yes.
He's actually Russian now, which they just didn't
Yeah.
do before for some reason.
Maybe it's too much effort. I mean,
I guess.
because yeah, and like I like how they just picked Magz Teenage Warhead, the most like ridiculous name
Yeah.
sounding person,
Mhm.
and they're just like, you know what, we're gonna pick this person because like why not?
Which I'm sure
And
I
it's
told you this
done.
story before, but like Disney and Fox traded characters. They traded Ego for Negasonic Teenage Warhead. For some reason,
Yeah,
Disney just had that.
yeah, you can do that for
The
like
one
I love how
they had like a handful of X-Men available, and Negasonic Teenage Warhead was was one of them for some reason. Like,
yeah,
okay.
they're like I'm gonna trade you this various X-Men like no one's ever heard
Yeah.
of because why not?
For a very pivotal Guardians character that you have for some reason.
Yeah,
Just,
just
like,
so
you're not gonna make an Ego movie anytime soon. He's not gonna show up
no,
in the Fantastic
like,
Four.
don't kid yourself, Fox. You're not making ego. like, no, stay in your lane. Oh man, but no, this is a great. I'm excited what they do with like now that Disney has Deadpool for Deadpool 3. I'm excited to see what they do
I'm
as
pretty
long
sure.
as they keep it rated R.
I think they confirmed Deadpool 3 will be rated R, but if he shows up in other MCU movies, they'll tone it down a little, but he'll make
That's
jokes
fair.
about it and stuff. Like, it'll work.
Yeah, I feel like he's just gonna. He's just gonna. Dang it! I used up all our F bombs.
Yeah. Or like someone says one S word, is like, oh, you only got 5 more of those. Like,
Oh, careful there, Captain. Like,
yeah.
do you kiss your director with that mouth?
Okay.
Okay. Wait.
Your turn.
No,
Yeah.
my turn. Yeah.
Yep.
Because you picked Deadpool. Okay. First Iron Man.
That was actually my next pick too.
Yeah. 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 Good movie. Set the whole thing up.
It's
Did a
good, if
great
not a
job.
little boring at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the very beginning, I think is interesting, and like near the end is interesting. But I think like the parts, I really like the parts where he's like building the stuff and
Yeah.
figuring out how it works. I think that's really awesome
Mhm.
to see him. Like, oh yeah, I think this will work for my jet, and then he just flips and smacks his head on the ceiling or something. Like, I think those things are great, but I also think the times where it's just waiting or the bad guys plotting or whatever, those are kind of
I mean, Jeff
go to
Bridges
the
is
bathroom.
phenomenal just in anything he does, but Obadiah is not a very good character.
Telling villain.
Period. He's
No, no, and I mean, and that's not his fault, but I mean, that's just kind of. And I feel like this movie wasn't really supposed to be about the villain anyway, so I feel like it's okay that there's a vanilla villain.
Yeah.
I'm bad because it's good for business, whatever. But
exactly.
yeah, but I think that's good because it really lets our protagonist shine, and he shines very brightly because it's Robert Downey Jr. and he's like, I'm gonna own this, and he's become his character.
As the first movie in this universe, it works super well, but like movies that came after you were better. So like, sorry.
Yes.
So
Yeah. No offense, but it is what it is. It's business,
just business. I'm gonna be honest. I don't love Logan.
Fair enough.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie. I mean, it's not. Well, let me rephrase that. It's enjoyable. It's not. It's kind of hard to watch, but like, it's there's just something about it I just don't get. Like everyone who like watches this movie like just loves it. Like I've seen so many people say it's their favorite comic book movie, and I like it. If it's on, I'll watch it. But like, there's something about it I just don't. I don't know. I just can't connect to it in ways that other people do. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I like it too, and I like that it's a Wolverine movie that actually gets to be violent and is
It's
very
actually good because
intense.
every other Wolverine movie is not.
Yeah, and I like it to be, and I like the dynamic they have with, with the X-23 being she's a little girl in this. I like Patrick Stewart being brought
Yeah,
back. I think, I think the conflict is a little
iffy.
like
And there's another
iffy.
random Wolverine for some reason that seemed to come out of
Yeah, which
nowhere.
that's not really explained very well, and and also just the bad guys in general are kind of just undefined. They're just mutant haters, I guess. Which
Yeah.
I know that's kind of its own thing, but I feel like I wish they had more depth
Mm,
to them.
yeah.
Feels like
Like
they're
it's
just
very interesting, and the action is almost exclusively phenomenal. But like, there's just something about it I just can't really get into. I don't know. It's great.
yeah,
It's not for me. That's fine.
yeah, it's fair. Okay. Oh man, dude, this is
Hmm.
hard. All these movies I would probably watch right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's see if there are any. I've watched that. Um, I'll go ahead and get Spider-Man 2 because
Oh, Spider-Man
I,
2. Okay.
yeah, because I like Spider. I really like Sam Raimi Spider-Man. I really like Doc Ock in this movie.
Oh
I
yeah.
like his slow descent into madness
Hmm.
and like how evil it gets, and I love Spider-Man is a better hero here. I like
Hmm.
the iconic train stopping scene, and how I love how the
Yeah.
people just kind of no, we're not going to
Yeah.
tell anybody. We
Yeah.
got you. But, I love that
Like
scene.
that scene honestly might be the best scene in any superhero movie. Period.
That's
Like
pretty awesome.
full stop. Period. The best superhero scene in anything. All right. Like there's in game is way up there obviously, but like
Oh yeah,
there's just something so I don't know. There's just something so epic, especially for that period of superhero movie that just it's just phenomenal. And yeah, like it really shows that like everyone in New York has his back, and it's just it, yeah, I
and there's a lot of here, there's a lot of superheroes I don't think have that. I think it
mm,
shows Spider-Man not only his relatability, but it's just kind of he's the only hero that kind of feels like one of us, because again, people were mourning, when Iron Man dies, people mourn in Spider-Man, Far From Home, but it's not
mm,
to the level of these people. It's this is one of our own. This is just another
yeah,
kid. This is just one of us.
mm,
And they kind of just is I don't know. It's so I don't know. It's just a great feeling, and that along with J.K. Simmons. I think J.K. Simmons is a really
yeah.
good Jameson here
Oh
with
yeah,
the suit and everything. With the suit and everything. Have you seen that?
right.
Dude, that is
Was that Iron? Wasn't that Spider-Man 1 where he got the suit? Was that a deleted scene?
I think it's no. I think that's is that. I thought that was in two because doesn't he throw the suit away?
Yes, and someone got it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and so if and he's I think it's, I might be the lead scene, but he's in his office just
Yeah.
like, he's a menace, but also that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think that's
Right.
man. But yeah, it just such a great movie, and the conflicts are good. I get Mary Jane still kind of doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
but that's a staple at this point, but
Mm,
it's fine.
yeah. Yeah. Definitely the best superhero movie from that era. Like
Oh yeah,
probably the best superhero movie until the Avengers came out, if we're being honest.
probably the best one of the decade. I'd say the best one of the decade, probably
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah.
Probably. I'd give
Us-
it that.
Dark
Edge out
Knight
Iron Man.
Dark Knight might be the only one that
Oh,
comes close. But
wait,
even
wait.
then, I don't
Okay.
know. Like
No, I don't know, bro. I watched The Dark Knight the other night, bro.
okay.
That joke is good.
I know it's
Like,
good. I don't like it. Kind of like Logan. It's really good. I really like it. It's just something about it I just can't connect with on the way other people do. But like, it's still really, really good. But
okay, yeah, I get you. I remember watching, like, I literally, like, because you know how like movies get slow and you're like, not like the
mm,
slow part of that movie doesn't come until like you're already an hour and a half in, so
yeah,
you're already invested. Like, I
mm,
didn't realize how fluid everything was,
mm.
but yeah, this movie, yeah, Spider-Man 2, very good,
It's at
very
least
very
the
good.
second best movie of the decade.
Yes,
Put
best
that down.
Marvel movie of the decade. How
Oh
about
yeah,
that?
yeah.
For sure.
Okay, crap. It's my turn. Um,
Indeed.
um, I'm gonna have to say, for me personally, Black Panther. I guess.
Hmm. I knew you. I don't know why, but I knew you were gonna say that. I don't. I like it, but I'm not going to save it.
You're not
But
gonna save
I
it.
see your reason. No, I thought about it because I was like, he's gonna say. It. I don't know why.
Yeah,
But no. But yeah, I get it.
it's phenomenal. It is. Literally, the only problem I have with it is the CG looks unfinished. That's it. That's my
Yes.
only issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the climax at the end, like the
uh,
ending scene, where, and again, yeah, it follows the "I am you but different and evil"
mm,
trope, but like the
it worked for this
CGI.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it does work a lot better because it makes sense. But
Mm.
like the CGI when they're just,
They're
yeah, the
falling and
train
like punching in the air
insane.
lifeless. It's just there's no
Yeah.
weight to it.
Yeah, which is weird because a lot of this stuff had like practical effects with like the,
Yeah,
Wakandan like spears and stuff, but
and like
like
that rhino actually looked pretty good. So I don't know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess
I
they
mean,
put all
like,
the
yeah,
money into the
obviously,
rhino. I don't know.
yeah. Which, I mean, I get it. Like, you didn't get a real rhino, so plus you
Yeah.
can't get a real rhino for a movie, even if it's about Africa. But like, it still looked really good.
Mm, yeah.
And like,
But yeah, that's the only problem I have with it. Every single character I love. Killmonger is maybe
mm,
top three best villain in the MCU.
oh yeah,
Like Claw is
yeah.
also a phenomenal villain. Like it just
So entertaining.
yeah. Like I can think of problems I have with other movies, but like I don't. But yeah, this one I just that's it. That's the only problem I have with it. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, that's really the only issues I have with it. Like, I like this. Like, I kind of touched on. I feel like, again, it's crazy to think about because like I remember watching Civil War. Black Panther was my favorite character
Mm,
watching that movie. And then when we get a Black Panther's movie, all his other characters are so cool. He
yeah,
kind of feels like, and I'm like, that's so crazy because like,
yeah. Like M'Baku is. I love him. I love his
yeah,
sister. I love his love interest. I can never think of like the like head of the warrior lady's name.
Okoye or whatever.
Okoye. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a really good character. Again, like you said, the villains are really good. Like everyone in this movie, other than, I mean, like pretty much Ross is the only other person who I'm not like super love. But like, again, that's not his fault. He's
Yeah.
supposed to be that regular person, you know. But like, it's a great movie. I love the scenes where they're like, I love the casino scene in Korea. I
Mm,
think that's really good. Like, I really like it a lot. But yeah, I think just the ending, like CGI is really kind of, and also something else I didn't super like. I kind of wasn't he I was kind of like, I understand how like Killmonger's argument makes sense stuff, but I kind of found it odd that like half the people were just casually like, okay, yeah, he's the
yeah.
boss now. Like,
Hmm.
it was kind of just like I know like royalty and tradition and all that, but I feel like it was kind of a little much when they were just
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure. I'm
I
like,
think it
okay, guys.
was like we had a ritual. We did the process. He's king now. There's nothing we can do about it. So we'll just go along with what he says. Well, so it was more like a moral versus tradition argument.
Yeah, and I know they went for that argument that's directly addressed, but I
Yeah.
feel like part of it is kind of, it almost feels kind of like, so not slavish, don't want to say that, but like kind of just like, blindly following whoever's on the throne kind of thing. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of not really what Wakanda represents.
And then I love
But
how T'Challa, like when he dies and talks to his ancestors, like he kind of agrees kind of with Killmonger at that point. We're like, all
yeah,
of you are wrong. We wronged this. Like this is gonna happen because you guys messed up. Like at this point, like it's just that's such a good scene.
yeah, I think that's awesome because it's like that rarely happens that like the villain's argument is so compelling that he changes the good guy's mind.
Yeah. Like we at this point we have no reason to stay secretive, yet we still are because tradition apparently. Like that's
and like tradition is like I understand like this help, but like at this point it's not for our own safety. We just don't want to help other people and that kind of stuff. And I think
like we can literally fix a broken spine like it's nothing, yet we just keep it all to ourselves.
Yeah. Bullet wounds are, just go to Minute Clinic to get bullet wounds.
Yeah.
Like probably get the cure for cancer and everything else. Like,
man. But it's really good. But I like others just slightly better. Yeah,
that's fair.
Your move.
Yeah, it's kind of where we're at. Okay. So Deadpool 2?
I'm honestly surprised you went to that one next, but like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
that's just how I like.
Yeah, I just kind of like me and Dead. Like for me, like Deadpool and Deadpool 2 are kind of like neck and neck. So like, I don't really consider one that much better than
like I like. You could think one is better than the other.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like I think I like 2 mostly more just because I like the addition of like the new characters, even though half of them get wrecked in 5 minutes, which is hilarious.
Oh yeah, Set to Thunderstruck, which was like my favorite song of all time.
Honestly, I think one of the funniest things is when like what is it what's the invisible guy's name? Shoot I forgot.
But we talk about this every single time the movie's brought up. We talk about this, and it's just hilarious.
I love that. I love that. Like, because I remember in the movies, they're like, "Oh yeah," it's like there's no one. I'm like, dude, there's no one there.
He's holding a backpack. He can't be an actual person.
It's holding that. There's no one there, and it's I was like, "Oh my god, this person!" Like, like $300 to do that. It was literally the funniest thing. Like, oh my gosh, like it's little stuff like that. But like, and I also like the growth in character. I like how like Colossus and Nagaton and Teenage Warhead are better. And I was like, hi, Yukio. Hi, I'm like,
Juggernaut was fantastically done.
Another great surprise that you totally weren't expecting.
Yeah, like he wasn't in any of the trailers or anything like that.
And like movies don't really do that anymore.
Yeah.
You usually know everything going into the movie, like any surprises or like in the trailer. You don't get you didn't just find out. I was looking at like the screen, like you know how crazy it would have been if like in Thor Ragnarok they didn't tell us that Hela could break his hammer.
Yeah.
Like you just saw that happen, you were just like, oh my god.
They even could have like done the Disney thing and like CG him holding the hammer for like most of the other shots of the movie just because. And then you actually get to those parts like, oh yeah, he doesn't have his hammer. Wow, okay.
When it gets to you, you're just like, what? Yeah, I was gonna say, kind of like with Hulk and Infinity War, but like, just like stuff like that. I think I just love it. I love the jokes, like with him and Cable just battling out for a lot of the movie, like in the prison when he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Batman."
And I love how they mentioned the fact that Josh, oh crap, what is his name?
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Josh Brolin is only 5'10". It's like now usually Cable's like 6'3", but we're fighting a 5'10" guy. Love that. The soundtrack, like I said, the soundtrack is literally perfect. Like some of my favorite songs of all time are sprinkled throughout this movie, and they're used at like perfect times. Like when he's going back in time at the end of the movie, is playing Cher's "Turn Back Time." They're walking away from the climax slow motion to Shadows of the Night. Like it's just so or. We
They took
Belong,
their
whatever.
time
Like
with
one
that.
of those Pat Benatar songs. Like it's just so perfect.
It's they took their time with it. They
Yeah.
like really loved doing it. And like I just love those movies. They just like they're crafted, man. They're really good.
Hmm. Yeah. But
But
uh, yeah, that
I'm
one hurt.
sorry.
That's probably the one that hurt the most so far for me. But no,
I'm so sorry.
it's gonna be that way because next I'm killing Age of Ultron. But
Yeah. Well, we're at that point.
oh, I love Age of Ultron. It's bad. Like there's like sorry, it's not bad, but there's like certain sections of it that like I cannot defend.
Yeah.
Like all the
Yeah.
weird visions, they don't add up to anything.
No, yeah. Like a lot of them don't. Yeah, because like you can kind of interpret what happened. Like, oh, well, she sees. Thor sees Asgard, and like, oh, I guess that's Ragnarok. I'll make that
I
happen. I'm like,
guess.
okay,
And then he
sure,
has
and
to
like,
like go to this other place to complete the vision, but that vision was just the Infinity Stones. That doesn't have anything to do with Ragnarok. So I don't
right?
really know what that was about. Like you literally
Yeah,
stopped the
I think they would.
movie for Thor to have this little adventure that amounted to nothing. I don't know. Especially since the Infinity Stones weren't
Yeah,
even really part of this movie outside of Vision. But
yeah, and I mean
um,
and that kind of just. I think that's just them trying to set stuff up that kind of
yeah,
just went a different way on, but people
yeah.
didn't
And
pull
like
them for it.
Ultron was a cool villain, but it really never felt like the Age of Ultron. It was like the
Yeah,
afternoon of Ultron. Like,
the like day and a half of Ultron, maybe.
like
Yeah, I never.
I loved so much how all the different Avengers, like they've been doing this for probably a couple of years at this point. So like they, they have like they have like combo moves. They like have inside
Yes.
jokes. Like their relationships are just so spot on to like what you actually want the
Yes.
Avengers to be like now, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Hulkbuster Hulk fight is phenomenal. The opening
Mm.
shot is great.
They get them
The
all in there, just like jumping
Yeah,
together, just like.
the party scene is maybe the best the MCU's ever produced. Honestly,
Oh man. Yeah, and like and just stuff like that. And I will say, like, I love the like heroic speeches in this movie because
uh,
like Cap with like the whole like 3 minutes get what you need, and then like I also very underrated, but like how like Barton talks to Wanda is like,
mm-hmm.
look, if you want to step up there high, we'll come back, we'll come get you up there. But if you step out that door,
You're an
you're an
Avenger.
event.
Yeah,
Like that is so powerful. I
like
think
there's
that's so,
robots attacking
especially
the
for.
city. I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense. Just roll with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's like this is what we do. Like this is totally
And
nuts.
then I love
But
how like Scarlet Witch throughout this entire franchise has been very inconsistent with what her powers are. Because up to that point, she was like, really all she did was like mind powers. But then from that point on, all she did was just projectiles. That's all she did.
yeah,
But it's fine. I love that. But
I
like,
can throw stuff.
she hasn't
I
done
mean,
any kind of mind bending at all since then.
yeah, I don't really need it to. I mean, I feel like she could. That would have been very helpful against Thanos or like
Yeah.
some of the Black Order.
Like it would have been
But
cool
like,
for him to be like, I don't even know who you are. I'll show you, and then literally like project her into his mind. But they just punch each other. But it's fine. It works.
that would be cool. That would have been actually really cool. Yeah, but no, I mean, she between that losing her accent, like, I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
Quicksilver just died instantly. It's like,
yeah,
okay.
that was kind of. I mean, to be fair, I was never really into his character. He
Nah.
was kind of, oh, he's fast, okay, but
Like I'm sure,
that's kind
just like
of.
every other Avenger, if he had one more movie, you'd really get into him. But oh well, that was just a weird Fox
Oh well.
deal that had to only be one movie. But
Yeah,
like
it happens.
essentially, my main like summary, if I had just to kind of put it into one sentence of this movie, is that it's very very good. It implements a lot of things I would want to be in this movie, but there's a little bit of potential it could have had that just if honestly if it were split into two movies, it would have nailed.
Okay.
Yeah, like if it had actually been the Age of Ultron with like Captain America and Iron, sorry, yeah, Captain America and Iron Man like kind of butting heads a little more over the fact that he went over their heads and created this problem. Like, there's just a little more they could have done, and like, it's very good, but it's just kind of just a little more they could have done that would have really put it over the top for me. But
Yeah.
still very solid. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I like that movie a lot. I think that's a very underrated Avengers movie, because I think people think, oh, there's Infinity War, Endgame, the other ones are kind of just there. But I'm like, no, it's a really good one. Like, isn't that like, but okay. So between the two Spider-Mans, I would take Far From Home off.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I like that one I like them both, but I think I like Far From Home a lot. I think, but a lot of Far From Home is kind of just kind of an epilogue to Endgame, which is fine. Good. I think, yeah, which is what was needed, but it felt like half of it wasn't even its own movie.
Yeah.
Which, and that's okay, because I like these characters. I like just kind of seeing them react to things that happen, but I kind of wish more of the characters hadn't have been snapped, because it feels like nothing really changed other than that one Asian guy that we didn't really know anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if it would have been crazy if like Ned hadn't been snapped, or like somebody like things changed to some degree
like
at all.
Ned
Like
hadn't
everything
been snapped, and then he was like he became a teacher at the school or something that. Or like was
something like that.
Or like was a chaperone on the field trip. Like you still could have had banter between them, but
yeah, I think that would have been great. And I understand why they didn't, because like that would have kind of ruined a little bit their thing. But yeah, I think that would have been worked well, especially since Ned's kind of not really. Who is he in like comic continuity? Like, isn't he like? I've never really heard of him.
His character exists. He's just one of Spider-Man's friends on the Mathletes Club, I think, maybe.
Okay.
If I'm remembering.
I've never really,
because I've like I didn't know he existed before this movie, and like I've heard some people explain who he was in the comics. He's just one of Spider-Man's friends, but like they really focus in on him in this movie.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I like that. I think Mysterio's a great villain. Yes, again, for like the fourth time today, he does follow the trope of I hate Iron Man. I used to work with him, but now I'm evil. But I think how Mysterio was done was awesome. Like I like how it's literally just special effects and drones and technology. I think that's really
cool. Great
modernization
of the character.
Yes, because I mean, in the world we live in, especially in these movies, like technology is basically almost magic. Like when you have Iron Man nanobites and turning into anything you want, it's basically magic. Like, and it's really cool to see that. And I like how he starts out as a good guy. Like for a while, like I was like, maybe this Mysterio is a good guy. Maybe I've read a comic book. So I know Mysterio's not a good guy, but I'm kind of like, well, maybe on his Earth. As soon
as he did that, like I'm gonna do what I should have done in the first place, and like ran into Pyro, I think the lava one was, and like did that big green blast that like almost killed him. As soon as he did that, I'm like, nah, this is like, if you should have done that in the first place, you should have. Why didn't you just do that in the first place?
You would have done, or at least done it the first chance you had again. Like you wouldn't have waited to this point all over again. Oh man, yeah.
Another instance where like the trailers actually made you kind of believe that he was gonna be good, and then they played blindside, because there were 4 other villains in the movie that they were able to put in the trailer, so they didn't need to make Mysterio part of the trailers, which is pretty rare for Sony, honestly.
Yeah.
Usually they spoil everything.
But no, that was really good. I like how MJ's used more in this movie. I think Zendaya does a good job with her character. I like Happy in this movie too. He's just kind of funny. He's like really like funny, but also like, yeah, I could see that. And like him as Aunt May's couple interactions are interesting. J.K. Simmons at the end, best part of the movie. Oh yeah, fight me like easily. I don't care. I think I stood.
I freaked out for you when I saw it.
God,
Yeah, I kind of
so
go back to
great.
MJ. Like their relationship felt very organic, very natural, which
Yeah,
I was kind of scared of,
yeah,
but like it worked very well. Um,
yeah.
I didn't
Especially
love the
like
like
them
love
being.
triangle they were trying to force, but with
Yeah,
with
I
the
think
other
that's
guy,
mainly just because we didn't know the other guy or
yeah,
really care about him at all. I think that's probably what it mainly was. But again, I think I like how it went. I thought it was interesting, and
yeah,
like, yeah, I think it was cool. I think Nick Fury and Real Big Scrolls kind of like,
cheapened it a little bit.
eh, huh?
They kind of cheapened it a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, like, I see it, and like,
Yeah,
it's fine. I don't dislike the choice, but I was like, kind of like some of it, I was like, yeah, I could see that being a scroll move, but some of it, I was like, okay, but like that's kind of Nick Fury-esque.
yeah.
Like, I feel like they kind of just shoehorned that in like halfway through.
Hmm. Like
But
again, if they were scrolls, but it turns out they were evil scrolls, that could have kind of more so tied into like some scrolls are good, some scrolls are bad, but they're just the same scrolls we already knew. So
yeah, I
there was
didn't like
no
that.
further like it didn't really develop the scrolls in any meaningful way any further. But Nick Fury's off in space doing for who knows how long. Maybe he's been in space since the Avengers. We don't know.
That's what I'm like. I'm think like I don't know. Some people are like, oh yeah, he's been up there since like he faked his death or whatever. So
Yeah,
I mean, which is very well
that makes a lot of
possible.
sense. Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially since in Age of Ultron he did cut his sandwich sideways.
yeah. See,
Apparently, if you cut his toast
tell me.
sideways, you can't eat it. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. The little things, man.
Mm.
Conspiracy.
Which I'm sure that might
Oh
just be
no, I mean, no, but like they're gonna act like they planned that. They did not plan that.
Unless
There's
Samuel
no
L.
way.
Jackson or Nick or Kevin Feige specifically say, "Yeah, we put that comment in Captain Marvel to signal he was a scroll in Age of Ultron." No,
No,
no.
no. There's no way. Like that'd be amazing, but no, you didn't do that.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, it's very good. People hate it for no reason. I think it's very good.
People hate it?
People
Really?
hate that movie.
Why?
I don't know. I can never get a straight answer out of them. Mainly
I
because,
don't.
honestly, the main reason I can get is because Uncle Ben's presence isn't felt, or they don't like that he's just Iron Man Jr., which he's really not. That's kind of there's more nuance to it than just Iron Man Jr.
Yeah, but I mean, and I guess that's like the theme they're trying to like push on. But like, I guess my thing is kind of like the Uncle Ben thing's been done to death, man.
Yeah,
Like between
you don't need it.
every Spider-Man movie, TV show,
Mm-hmm.
video game, like we know how
Yeah,
we know what happens,
and
man. We
his
get it.
presence
But
has
like,
been felt in these movies so far. It's just not shoved down your throat like it is an Amazing Spider-Man.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah.
like it.
Me too.
So, so essentially, especially at this point, the I think we're in the top 8. This is like the ideal top 8 for me personally. So
Yeah,
the main way we kind of established, I think when we did the cartoons, is that what you need to do at this point is just think of things you don't like about that movie and just run with them. Like you may love these
oh
things,
man,
but like pinpoint one thing you don't like, that's enough. For that reason, Endgame is next. I love
okay.
this movie to death. It honestly might be my favorite, sorry, third favorite MCU movie. Maybe fourth.
Wait,
Maybe
not
fourth.
third.
Maybe arguably fourth. But like
Yeah,
it's
I
but Thor and Hulk, that's enough. Like
yeah,
their character
yeah.
arcs weren't explored to the extent they could have been.
And
That's enough.
I don't like that Thor didn't get like. I mean, Thor kind of gets redeemed, but not really.
Yeah, he
Like, I
got
don't really
redeemed, but
feel
then
like
didn't act on it. Like he didn't really do anything super impressive in the climax.
no, and
Yeah,
like,
and
and I guess a lot of the. I also like how time travel just is like, oh no, we can do whatever we want. It's kind
Yeah,
of
like they
weird.
specifically like phrased it to be ambiguous, so you don't question it, which is fine.
Yeah,
But
which is smart because when that's not the biggest thing going on in the movie.
yeah,
But
like I love this
yeah, I
movie
guess
so
that's
much, but there was just a couple of things here and there that like they could have done more of, or like I feel were a missed opportunity, or like I feel every single character that got snapped, or even every single character should have gotten at least one hit off on Thanos, or like,
yeah,
or
yeah.
honestly
I feel
just like there were so many other characters that had personal beef with Thanos that just didn't. Like Peter Quill never got to interact with him again.
no, you got
Drax
no.
didn't, even though like they both were directly affected. It's just,
Yeah, I
but
like the Guardians didn't really get there. Wanda did a little bit, which I
yeah,
like that, but that was kind of it.
mm,
And no one else really. Like Thor, especially. And again, Thor kind of did at the end. They kind of all got around, but it's it kind of didn't feel it didn't feel like
yeah,
this was my revenge. It kind of just and I know at the time the stakes are higher than personal beef. We learned that in the last movie, but
mm,
at the same time, it was kind of and it was kind of just we all do this together. It was kind of and I love that. I love the whole giant armies running up against each so
yeah,
cool, and the theme music's insane. But I feel like that one part, a lot of the rest of the movie, I'm not too huge on because even the beginning, I'm kind of just it's all right, but it's not super
mm, I,
until time travel when I'm not really super into it.
mm, yeah. I even do kind of like the parts that are before the time travel, but they did take a little too long to actually get there. Like it easily could have.
Right.
There were like a couple of parts before time travel they could have cut out or like shortened a little bit to add even more time to the
Yeah.
climax, but it's whatever.
Yeah, and I guess that's what it's just when it's a 3.5 hour movie. I mean, you're not trying to cut corners, but
Yeah,
gosh, that's a
yeah, yeah. That one hurt.
oh,
Your move.
yeah. Oh boy, no, lucky me. um, the first Avengers movie, I guess.
I
Oh, that's a
guess.
lot.
I
I know
guess.
that's a lot. That's hard because I like it a lot. It's one of my
Mm,
favorites, but also this is gonna sound really stupid, but I like Captain America's suit, and it
I
annoys me
hate
in that
Captain
watching
America's
that
suit. I
movie.
hate that suit. I
That
can
annoys
like.
me. They never use it again.
Oh,
Only in that movie.
well, they
It
use it in
annoys the crap.
game as a callback to that movie, but
Oh
like,
yeah. But I mean, that was only because they used it the first time.
yeah,
I really I'm just use the original or use the updated one.
yeah.
Don't use.
His suit in the first
Just
Avenger was so much better. Why was it so like
yeah.
cartoony? It was
It
weird.
looks legit. It looks good, and this one's just kind of
It looks like someone
it looks like an
cosplaying
action figure.
as someone cosplaying as
Yes,
Captain America. Like,
and cosplaying poorly, and it's a
yeah,
cheap. It's just weird and other. What else did I not like? This is hard. Oh my god, this is bad. I can't hate the movie just for that, can I?
at this point, yes.
Well,
At this point,
yeah,
focusing on one
maybe at
thing,
this point.
because
Yeah,
that was
I
honestly
guess
going to be my
that.
next choice for that reason alone. Like,
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I guess that's just kind of where I'm at.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, it's like it. That's. I mean, there's nothing else to justify it. It's just the best.
Yeah, there's not a lot of problems.
Yeah. um. So yeah, moving on. I guess. I mean, we could just talk about that movie for like 2 hours by itself. So
I think we have.
collectively,
Probably,
collectively, yeah.
probably, yeah.
We've ranked these like 3 times already, so in some way or another.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it's been best of the decade or best of
Or just like
Marvel
running
movies
down
or
all of box office
yeah,
record like
which is
so yeah, moving on. Uh, um literally no reason Guardians 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
I love the soundtrack. I think the jokes are
say
better.
My only thing, I'm like, maybe I can say because Peter's powers don't stick around.
Like, I mean, it makes sense because when Ego dies, his powers wouldn't exist
anymore.
I
know, but I didn't like that. I was like, that shouldn't. Like, I get it, but like, it's not like if Zeus died, Hercules wouldn't just become mortal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was kind of my thing. I was like, I get it, but I feel like it's dumb that comes his source of power from someone else. But like, it is what it is.
This movie has some of my favorite like moments in all of the MCU. Like the Guardians 1 soundtrack is phenomenal. But this movie has slightly less good songs, but the way they use them are so much better. Like the opening, them fighting to Mr. Blue Sky is like that song does not fit, but like because it doesn't fit,
crazy.
It fits. And also like Rocket and Yondu breaking out of that prison to come a little bit closer, just it shouldn't work, but it's just great.
But somehow. It's just like that. Like, he's literally like taking his little pin thing and like going through all the guys, and it's just like you're just kind of like,
that's just and like walking in slow motion with like people just raining down bodies, just
it's a great time.
Yeah, it's just I have almost no problems with it. Like a couple of the jokes didn't really land, but like that's just gonna be the case with even Deadpool 2. Some of the jokes don't really land.
Oh yeah, that's just how it is. That's life. I love Mantis. She's a great addition to the team.
Yeah,
like
Nebula was just great in that movie as well.
Yeah. I like I almost said Peter and Quill. Peter and Quillmora, because they get closer. I really appreciate that. That's really good, and it's just a good movie.
Yeah, but it's just what's it? Yeah, it just doesn't quite make my top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, top 5. Okay.
Should we just like not even bother with saves, or just one each at this point? So
that's what I'm thinking. Like, I honestly, at this point, because I thought about that a while ago, because I was like, I was thinking, like, if I'm going to say one, it probably was going to be Black Panther, like, a while ago, but even then, I'm like, no, that's fair, because, like
I almost picked Infinity War super early just to make you use one, but, like, that'd be cheap.
Why would you do that?
So we'll just have one, we'll see where it goes. We get down to 2 and we haven't used one yet, then,
That's what it's just, like, it's understood. Okay. Yeah. So I think you're with me on Spider-Man. I think you're with me on this.
I guess I am. Yeah, I have to be.
I mean, look what else there is. Like, there's nothing else. Like, I can't honestly look. I can't look you in the eye and honestly say any of the others. Like, I can't.
Like it's either that or Thor Ragnarok, and either one we pick. The other, like those are the only 2 left. I can kill and like not literally want to kill myself. Like,
maybe, but like.
And I love Spider-Man Homecoming. Vulture is the best. Michael Keaton is the best.
Yes. And we like how we talked earlier about like when the villain can figure out Spider-Man, like that scene when they're driving to the dance or whatever.
So good. The music is so good.
Yeah, he just puts it together. A smart, competent villain would puts it together like,
he's probably Spider-Man.
And he just like once he figures it out, he has no doubt in his mind. Like, does she know? And he's like, what? He's like, okay, she doesn't know. Like, very. I like the villain has a good reasons for his thing. I like how Spider-Man, is becoming his own thing. I do like how Iron Man's just kind of
he's around, but not like it's not his movie.
Right. I remember enough. Yeah. Like, because I remember the first part, I thought it was going to be a lot of Iron Man overshadowing Spider-Man. But no, he was doing other stuff. He was around. And, when the fairy scene and, like, that scene where he's, like, giving him, like, well, if you even cared, you'd be here. And he opens up the suit and walks out.
They ruined it in the trailers, but it's still a cool scene.
Yeah, I know. But in the heat of the moment, I wasn't thinking about it. And I was like, I can't watch it. Yeah, and although she's never brought that, Karen was cool.
Yeah.
But I think that was... do they ever explain that? Or, like,
Yeah, they just never came
because I
back.
know, like,
It might
yeah, I don't.
didn't talk to him at all, and yeah, I don't even think I talked to him any in Infinity War.
I
Just
know in Endgame he says activate instant kill, and it does that thing. That's a callback.
yeah, yeah.
But like other than that, that's pretty much it
Mm.
that you ever hear from Karen. Like I don't think the new suit has one, so
Well, he's not that we know of.
no. But yeah, who knows? Spider-Man 3, they might bring it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this movie. Your thoughts?
It's just great. It's the best Spider-Man movie. Fight me. Spider-Man 2 is great, but this one is just a little bit better. It just is. I think it really captures everything a Spider-Man movie needs to capture. Like the high school setting is great. Him balancing his responsibility of being a student with being Spider-Man, like just and him like giving up being Peter Parker, or sorry, him giving up being Spider-Man for the time he does, like again makes sense. The way Aunt May is involved, like it just everything just it's the pinnacle of Spider-Man to me. Just yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, but bye. And I don't want to kill Thor Ragnarok. I love it. It's stupidly good. But like, this movie is funnier than either Guardians movie. Like, it is just
yes. This movie's hilarious.
And like that's mainly because 80% of it was ad libbed. Like,
which is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, who does that? That's so great.
Like the Thor, this character who for the past 4 movies he's been in was super serious, super just very like just there was like he was kind of like sarcastic at times, but he wasn't like a comedic character for Taika Waititi just to go okay Chris Hemsworth, just be Thor but also be whatever you want him to be, just be funny, be whatever, and he chose to be hilarious.
I will be hilarious.
So
yeah, and it really is. And I love how, I mean, this movie redeems so much. It redeems Thor. It makes Hulk a lot more interesting. You care about that character. And, it's like, honestly, I don't think I would have been as excited for Infinite. Like, no, that's probably a lie. But like, how great Thor was made me excited to see Thor with other people. Like, I remember for the longest time, I was like, if the Avengers didn't have Thor, I probably wouldn't mind. But like, this made Thor awesome and hilarious. And like, you wanted this Thor to be quipping with Tony Stark and all. Like, this is the guy. Like, he would have fit right in, and it's so good. And I love Loki.
Valkyrie is amazing. Jeff Goldblum is great. Everything he's in.
Always a win.
Yeah.
He's so funny. It's just like, what are the? It's like, oh yeah, the slaves. Ooh, I don't like that word. The unpaid servants or whatever. I don't remember what it is. That sounds better. Like, it's just so
Loki
funny.
is also just great in this movie.
Yeah, Loki's on point.
You really got
the interactions with Loki.
The interaction between them, like they really felt like quarreling brothers, but like they still had that brotherly bond. Like it just
it's kind of that that thing you've never really. It's like like a lot of like because you knew they were connected, but you never really felt that they were like they've known each other their whole lives, that kind of thing. But now they have stories, they have different things they've tried. It's kind of like how like Anakin and Obi-Wan were supposed to be, but you kind of just felt like they didn't really have that dynamic, kind of like that. Like
and then Clone Wars, really push it.
Yes. Exactly. It's kind of like that. And like, this is so good. This is what we wanted. And like,
obviously really Led Zeppelin. Like every movie should have Led Zeppelin in it. Like,
yeah. I mean, really, the only thing about Thor Ragnarok is like, I mean, Hela's awesome, but she's not like super memorable, and that's like the main thing.
Yeah, she's a great villain in the moment, but like, there's not really any repercussions for her existing. He's just kind of there.
Yeah, and it's interesting. And I think a lot of reasons I don't remember because like a lot of the movie doesn't take place on Asgard. Most of it's on Sakaar. They're just trying to figure stuff out,
Yeah.
which is great because I think Sakaar is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's like they finally do all the stuff, get back, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, Hela's here. Like we should figure this out.
Another movie that like it's phenomenal by itself, but if it were split into two movies, it could have been even better.
Yes.
Like if you had Thor Planet Hulk as one movie and then Thor Ragnarok as another movie, it could have been even better. Like Thor, Planet Hulk happens, and then like at the very end of it, after credits he gets back to Asgard, and Asgard is just ruined. Like it's just like Hela's taken over, and it's like, oh crap. So something like that could have made the movie even better, or made the storyline even better. But like as far as the movie we got, it was done pretty much as well as it could have been done just as one movie. So
yeah.
Oh. Sorry.
Okay.
Your turn? My turn?
Yeah. That's my turn. You pick Thor.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So at this point, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
No. But also it does, but like essentially we need to pick one that we can both agree on is the best. And I think we'll get there, but like
will we though?
Because all three of these are literally perfect. Like there's hardly a flaw in any of these movies.
I can't even.
You can nitpick. You can easily nitpick.
I know, but like it's like I would be hating at this point. It wouldn't even be nitpicking. Like, I get. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
This is hard. Just because there's less Avengers, Winter Soldier. Like that's not
Winter
even a good
Soldier?
argument.
Oh no.
Yes. I'm sorry. What? See, this is what I'm tired of.
Okay.
Which one do you have picked?
I don't know.
Like again, this is like all these movies 10 out of 10
you know what?
for sure. But like,
you know what? Let's just not have saves at this point. Let's just not have saves. Let's just not. There's not worth it. They're all.
No, I want to like. Yeah, let's just, but no, I mean like.
Let it happen. It's fine. Because I did the math. Like, if we did each have one save each, like it would kind of not even really be a choice. It would just kind of be.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, it's just process of elimination.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's
then
like,
we just kind of be back to where we started. So.
Yeah, and again, like all these movies, 10 out of 10, 100%. But it's just like, it's just only like a 3 Avengers versus like 10 or more. Like I get like. And again,
the story itself
that's not even a bad thing.
Not knocking the story of Civil War or Infinity War, but the story itself of Winter Soldier, I think, is the best story of any Marvel movie.
And I honestly, I agree with you. I think the only reason, like, Infinity War, it just has so much riding up to it until this point that, like even Winter Soldier is building up to this point. It's all this stuff, and then Civil War is just kind of like it built like Winter Soldier kind of like builds up to Civil War in a way also because you don't have Civil War if Winter Soldier doesn't happen and I know that's just how the movies work and I don't know but no
you have to make hard choices now. I get it.
Yeah, I know no one's happy at this point. But no, I love Winter Soldier. It's the best. Honestly, Civil War is arguably just an Avengers movie. So Captain and Winter Soldier, I've said, is like the best, just standalone, not Avengers movie
easily the best.
Yeah, by a good bit. Like Thor Ragnarok's kind of close, but even then, it's kind of there's a bit of a.
It's a Revengers movie.
Yeah. Because that's what heroes do. Oh my god.
Okay, so I guess by Winter Soldier, you're
sorry. I love you. Great story. I love even the Winter Soldier's theme, where it's just the one like long note the
Yep.
whole time, and like the fighting is so
Hmm.
crisp and intense, and like the elevator scene, he just like the emphasis when he like kicks the shield and it
Yeah.
comes up, like, bruh,
Yeah.
he felt like
And
a
the scene
superhero.
between the fight between Winter Soldier and Cap is the scene that like made me
Mm-hmm.
realize shaky cam isn't always bad. Like you can do shaking cam and it can be done well. This proved
Make
it.
it work, but
Yeah.
only in various moments, but
Yeah.
it can work. And like he just bites and like this is how good they are, and the knife, like that knife
Knife.
flip, and
Yeah.
like the oh my god,
That
the whole
alone makes this
fight.
movie a 10 out of 10.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh, so cool. Like,
Yeah. And like
um,
his speech to the entire
mm,
Shield, you know, headquarters, like,
hmm hmm
oh my goodness.
phenomenal speech. And like,
Uh, oh well. Oh
and
well.
and like the whole espionage by her, him
Mm-hmm.
and Widow go through the whole time. Sam Wilson's whole character being
Yep.
introduced, like the
I
audio
love
left
just like
thing
how
is
they built
hilarious.
to him being like because like the entire time he like the way he phrased his line of work, it was as if he was a pilot, but it's like I never said I would fly. I flew jets, and then like it's a
Yeah,
Falcon suit.
yeah, sure.
And a great modernization of that stupid costume from the comics.
Yes, yeah, because yeah, it's kind of right. And then, like even now, like the whole mask thing, pilot mask thing's a little but
Yeah.
like it's still a lot better than yeah. The comics is kind of awkward and yeah. And Captain, speaking of kind of Captain America's new like his stealth suit,
Uh,
super good and way
my
better than the
second favorite suit
Avengers.
next to Civil War. Mm.
Yeah, I honestly I think I like that one the most.
Mm.
Honestly, just because it's just kind of it's like yeah, I don't know, it's just a lot cool. It's just really cool. And then and like
Mm.
how he's like adapted his combat too.
Yeah.
Like he does stealth combat. Like that's so cool.
Mm.
Like, I don't
So I have a choice to make now. Um,
know. You're my guest. You cannot win.
so I know, I know, Infinity War was your favorite movie of the decade.
This is true. This is true. Probably ever at this point.
I know that, and I have no reason to dislike it. There's like a couple of things here and there that like I feel they could have done ever so slightly better. But Civil War
Because Peter Quill.
Oh
Or
yeah,
you could use
honestly,
that. I
that's
don't
about
know.
it. Pretty
There it
much.
is. There it
That's about
is.
it.
That's like
Well,
my one
and
nitpick.
honestly, I'll give you this. Honestly, also the fight between all the Wakandans plus the handful of Avengers plus all those weird aliens. It was just another one of those fights. That's just another one of
Yeah.
those heroes versus hordes of random aliens.
CGI
We've already
army.
done that in the
Yeah,
Avengers and Age of Ultron. Like, it's
this
just
is true. This is true. However, I think it's great because like I know like the build up to the fight and also Thor just coming
Yeah.
down and being
I mean,
like
yes,
the
that's the
greatest
best
thing ever.
scene
That's
Marvel
amazing.
has ever produced. I get that.
So
I probably said that like 3 times already, but whatever, it's fine.
this is true. This is
But
true.
there's just something about Civil War that just, I can probably watch that movie on repeat and never grow tired of it. I don't know.
Yeah. It does so many things well.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Like Baron
and like
Zemo's
how
plan is ridiculous, but like it also
yes.
makes sense.
Yeah, like that's my one thing. Zemo's kind of not the strongest villain, which again, he's not the villain of the
Yeah,
movie.
he's not the villain. That's kind of his
Yeah, he
whole
puts
point.
he kind of puts the other people against each other, but at the same, and like it's
And
just it's really well.
I love how how Civil War like subverts your expectations. How like he Captain America recruits all these other Avengers to go with him to fight these 5 other Winter Soldier people. Like they were already established. These people had the highest kill count in Hydra history, before they became Winter Soldiers.
Right?
So like I need me and Bucky. We're not enough. I also need like all my other all these other Avengers to help me just to fight these 5 people. And people seem to forget that he didn't recruit them to fight Iron Man's team. He recruited them to for a separate mission that Iron Man is stopping them from completing.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no like there's no negotiating with Iron Man at this point. He won't let me. Like, there's something greater than the Sokovia Accords. I need to go there, and Iron Man's like, sorry, I can't let you. And like both sides are completely valid in why they're fighting. It's just so good. And then like so after all that, they finally do get to the Hydra base, and Zemo's already killed all the Winter Soldiers, and you're like,
right.
I was expecting like a final boss again with
level,
against 5 other Winter Soldiers, at least a little bit, but no, the final boss will be Iron Man versus Captain America. Like,
I was expecting a boss fight. Iron Man flies in. Oh, don't worry.
We'll get there. That's so interesting. Like, I know. Obviously Thanos is probably the best villain. Yeah, probably the best villain that MCU has ever produced. But like, there's obviously like you kind of end up agreeing with his mindset. You don't necessarily agree with what he does, but you agree with like why he's doing it. Like, but as far as like, as far as the actual interactions between hero versus villains, the fact that like you're expecting to fight these other Winter Soldiers, and that's subverted. So, but then leading perfectly into Cap versus Iron Man. That just I think that puts it over the top for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's done so well, and like like the whole time, no matter what their emotions are, whether it's the Accords versus freedom, or it's fighting for Bucky versus fighting for what's right, or whether it's for my friend or who killed my family. They're, even though their motivations change, their arguments are always completely valid throughout the entire thing, and that's amazing.
And Robert Downey Jr. is so good at just acting with his eyes, like throughout the entire after he found out Bucky killed his mom, he just like looks at Cap, and like he didn't say anything, but just in his eyes you could just tell it's like, I want to kill you, now I'm not gonna. Yeah, I will. Like, it's just that little, just that like 5-second sequence. Just it was just so, the acting of that movie is just the best. Literally, like some of the best acting in movies I've ever seen. Like, it's just so good. But again, Infinity War is also phenomenal. But just there's something about Civil War I just was over the top slightly.
I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. So good.
Sorry.
That was hard.
Yeah.
We have a winner.
Yeah. Honestly, going into this, I thought Winter Soldier would win. But I'd go with this too. I'm very cool with this. Like, those 3 were obviously always going to be the top 3. Like, there was no question.
Yeah, like, what's going on there? Like, in my head, I was like, okay, so it's going to be like Infinity War, Winter Soldier, Thor Ragnarok, like the top 5 to 6 I was kind of had, and I was like, all right. And from there, it's kind of a toss up. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but no, I would take that. I would take
that. Yeah. If we did, I kind of forgot that like probably 20 of the 32 movies were just kind of there just to have 32 movies. So like having 2 saves wouldn't have really mattered. But then it came to the point where like only 1 save wouldn't have even really mattered. So
I was kind of like, well, at this point, like we're gonna, it's like I can manipulate the saves till I get what I want anyway. It becomes a chess match.
So. Yeah, is there anything else you wanna say before we sign off?
I think we've said it all.
Yeah. So yeah, congratulations, Civil War. You're objectively the best Marvel movie, apparently.
Objectively. Something like that. Oh, man.
Okay. So with that, we'll see you all next time.
Take care, guys.